Hey everyone, and welcome to this very impromptu update.
Yeah.
The balance update. It has dropped, and we're going to be talking today about the Arks of Omen tournament pack. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about the balance update, and we're also going to be talking about the points update as well.
Yeah. We thought we'd do it in a way that works for everybody. You can watch this back at any point. We're going to talk about everything that affects everybody.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the Arks of Omen Detachment and the allies thing that we're all crazy about.
Yeah.
Core secondary changes and mission changes.
Yeah.
And then we'll also look at the universal changes from the balance data slate.
Yeah.
Then we're going to move on to a faction by faction analysis of all the changes for each one, including their points.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be something is what we can really help you understand is actually have some clarity on this.
Yeah.
There's been a huge amount of leaks, a huge amount of rumours, a huge amount of just incorrect information. Mm-hmm. This is probably one of the only times I've ever witnessed this to such a degree of people having kind of literally mass panic.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to one-drop your army. You need to, this is going to be broken. This is going to be busted. This is going to happen. Look, I always say this. I absolutely detest leaks because all it does is creates a huge amount of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And it just gives a lot of negativity as well.
Yeah.
This is going to be unplayable. This is terrible. I'm quitting Warhammer and all that kind of stuff. It's just bad. We need to stop leaks and stop rewarding the people that actually do it, okay?
Yeah.
So we're obviously massively privileged to, and massive thank you to Games Workshop for sending us this preview copy. And it's something that we're incredibly excited about in order to have great balance in the game. And it's great to see some of the changes as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really, really happy with this. I'm extremely excited to play Arks of Omen and this kind of new era of Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it, and I personally feel like I'm going to absolutely love playing the game.
Yeah, same. I'm excited for this detachment. It's awesome. The balance changes are all awesome. I think the big picture, all coming together, I think overall is great for the game.
Yeah, like I know Games Workshop have worked really hard on making the balance data slate, the points, and the mission have a trifactor.
Yes.
So that you might feel like, well, why haven't Flamers been increased in their points more? Well, when you look at the other two variations, they've been nerfed.
Yes.
So therefore, maybe their points didn't need changing. And there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
There really is a lot of that. Okay, so Michael, what are we going to be talking about first?
First of all, we're going to be talking about Arks of Omen.
Okay.
All right. So we've got a few highlights for Arks of Omen. We're obviously going to talk about the detachment as well.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Arks of Omen.
Okay. What do you want to know? Talk to me. I've got the book.
Okay. First of all, I want to know if there's any changes in how you create your army.
Yes, there is. Now what you've got to do is take 100% Age of Sigmar models.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Big change. It's a big change.
Big change, yeah.
You can sprinkle in an allied detachment of Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can take a super heavy of Warcry.
Right,
yeah.
Nice.
No,
Yeah, nice.
All jokes aside, there are some pretty big shake-ups with the new detachment, as you've probably seen from Games Workshop. They reviewed that, but they didn't tell you everything.
No.
Okay, they gave you a little bit of information. The internet went absolutely wild, and I don't know whether Games Workshop are trolling people. I don't really know, or whether just a few things got missed out from that original sort of article.
Yeah.
But the biggest change, okay, with the Arks of Omen detachment now is that you get one detachment. Is your main detachment called Arks of Omen, and you have to take it.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't take anything else.
No.
All right, you just have to take that one as your main detachment. It's free, so no CPs.
Good.
Now, you do start the game with 6 CPs as normal, as we're kind of used to. All right, so no change there. But you can take one allied detachment.
Right.
And it has to be either a patrol detachment or a super heavy auxiliary detachment.
Okay.
It's always a mouthful, that one.
It is.
Now, people are like, oh, I'm going to take Guard with my Custodes, and I'm going to take Death Strikes with my this.
I'm going to take Eldar with my Tau.
Nope, you're
like
not.
The good old days.
No, you're not.
Oh.
No, you are not. Because it explicitly says what you can and cannot ally.
Right, okay.
All right? Okay. So let me give you an example. All right, in your Arks of Omen detachment, as we know, and you've probably already seen this, you can take a HQ plus 3 of the same type. So 3 troop, 3 elite, 3 fast attack, heavy support, 3 Lord of War.
Yeah, and you have to take that.
You have to. Okay, now what this does mean is you're going to save loads of CPs because you don't need to necessarily take a Vanguard detachment, Outrider detachment, any of those detachments anymore. All right, you can just take 6 fast attack and be done, and a HQ.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Really cool thing now with elites is that you get elite characters. So like Judicers, Apothecaries, Champions can go as like kind of additional elite slots.
I like that.
So you can basically take up to 9 elite slots, which is cool.
Yeah.
So this is your main kind of detachment, all right? This big one right here, as you've probably kind of seen previewed. And we've got those 3 stratagems, your Warlord Trait, Relic, and Heroic Support stratagem.
Yep.
The Heroic Support stratagem allows you to basically take a commander, like a Tau commander, or like a captain.
Hive Tyrant.
A Hive Tyrant. Basically one more in that detachment.
Yeah.
All right? Now, this is where it got a little bit crazy.
Okay.
Because people were saying, well, I'm going to take a Arks of Omen detachment, then I'm going to take a patrol detachment of Tau, and then I'm going to take another patrol detachment of Tau, and then I'm going to spend a CP for each of those detachments and take like 7 or 8 commanders. No, that's not going to happen because... Stop it, Kyle. No, jokes aside, you can only take an allied detachment if it specifies you're allowed to take one. And let me give you what they are.
Okay.
It's pretty tight. There's not much wiggle room for, you know, getting crazy with soup here.
No.
If you're an Imperium army,
okay,
so Custodes, Sisters, all that kind of stuff,
yeah,
you can take a patrol detachment of Votann.
Okay.
All right? You can take some Votann in your Blood Angels if you want.
Okay.
All right? But there's stuff you're going to lose.
Yeah.
All right? You are going to lose some and have some heavy penalties. Remember, you only get your combat doctrines if all of the models in your army are Adeptus Astartes.
Yeah.
Are Votann Adeptus Astartes?
It's really key here. Taking a Votann patrol does not suddenly make the Votann in that patrol agents of the Imperium.
No.
And it doesn't make them unaligned.
No.
So any super doctrine you got as well, you're going to lose that too.
Yeah.
And there are some instances here where you won't even get your secondaries.
Exactly.
So it's not all crazy. You can take them if you want.
You can take it if you want, yeah. You can have a land fortress.
Yeah.
At what cost, though? I'd rather keep my doctrines, thank you very much. Anyway, you can also take a free blade lance super heavy auxiliary detachment of a knight.
Okay.
All right. You can have a free blade lance in there.
Now, something I'm excited about as well is you can take an Agents of the Imperium patrol detachment.
Nice.
So previously you could only take something like an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
But now you can take an Inquisitor and some of their acolytes.
Oh.
Or, you know, those Star Striders.
Oh.
Got to get them in there.
Saucy.
So you can take a whole detachment of them now, which is quite cool.
Yeah, nice. If you're Asuryani or Drukhari, you can take a patrol detachment of Harlequins.
Cool.
Don't get any ideas, nothing else.
Cool.
You can't take 3 patrol detachments of Drukhari anymore.
No.
Have it in an Arks detachment and take some Harlequins.
You've got 4 HQ slots available now in the Arks of Omen detachment. Use them.
Another thing here is Astra Militarum can take a patrol detachment of Tempestus Scions.
That's cool.
That's all you can take. Yeah. Or you could have a Votann detachment as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, you could do that. But remember, you can only take 1 detachment. So
One
you can have Tempestus Scions or Votann. You can't have both. All right? Genestealer Cult can have Brood Brothers.
Cool.
So no more NIDs souping in with Genestealer's Cult. Can't do that.
Oh, okay.
All right? You can't do it. Now, this is where it gets great. Chaos can take a Dreadblade.
Yeah, Chaos Knight, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, you can have a Chaos Knight. World Eaters can take Khorne Demons. Can you put Flamers in a World Eaters army, Michael?
No.
No.
Those
18 Flamers, you're not putting them in. Well, number one, you can't because you can only take a patrol detachment, and a patrol detachment's limited to 2 elites.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can't take 3 units anymore.
No.
And then, obviously, they don't have the Khorne keyword, so they're not going into World Eaters. Nope. Okay? Can you put them in the Thousand Sons?
Yes.
You can, because they're Tzeentch.
Yes.
They've got the right keyword.
You're going to have to take a patrol detachment.
And you can only take 2.
Right.
Right.
Cool.
Now, Death Guard. Can you put Flames in Death Guard?
No.
No, because they have the Nurgle keyword. And that's what you can only take if you're a, basically, you can see where I'm going with this, right? You can't, there's also explicitly puts here Emperor's Children.
Yeah.
So that list we saw with, you know, loads of Emperor's Children and Flamers, no, that's not going to happen.
Cool.
Then, there's a really cool one at the end here.
Yes, very happy about this.
You were a bit concerned about this one.
I was, yeah.
And they've thought about it and they've put it in there. It's words as written.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so Disciples of Bellicor, basically. And what it lets you do is not only take a Chaos Space Marines patrol, you can also take a super heavy for Knights. So even though you can normally only have 1 allied detachment, for Disciples of Bellicor, you can actually take both Knights and Chaos Space Marines.
So how many CPs is that kind of Disciples of Be'lakor army saving you?
Probably 4 to 6.
Nice.
CPs, which is crazy.
My Eldar list gets 6 CPs back.
Nice.
You know my crazy one I had?
The one with all the Phoenix Lords and just Aspect Warriors.
6 CPs now to play with. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
So that's pretty... Have you got any questions, Michael, about Battle Brothers? Or
so about the new detachment, I think there's one thing that's important to clarify.
Jake loves it, I know.
Jake loves it, I know, yeah. But if you choose 3, let's say, fast attacks to be your mandatory, and you got your 1 HQ, you now only have 3 heavy support slots available. It's not like you can have all of the other mandatory slots available. You have to pick 1 stack of mandatory, and then you get everything in grey as an option.
Nice.
So if you want 6 elites in your army, excluding characters, you're going to have to run the one with the 3 mandatory elites.
Yeah.
So just be aware of the minutiae of using that detachment.
Yeah, love it. No, I think that's a really good clarification on that, Now, Michael.
Yes.
When you deploy your army, do you deploy the entire army in one go?
No.
No, you don't do that. No, this is... You still alternate deployments, okay? I know there were some rumours about a 1 drop. It's not happening. You still must alternate deployments. When you roll off, who goes first?
The person who wins the roll-off.
The person wins the roll-off, yeah. We got a great question here from Ryan. We've got a couple of super chats as well. Or Andy Down's been a member for 16 months. Happy Space Marine Day. I mean Dataslate Day. Yeah, Space Marines are going to get a lot of love. We will cover Space Marines, okay? Yeah. Ian James, happy Custodes player. OBSEC strats are back. All right, Ian, giving it away.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Okay, we've also got Ryan here said, can you take a Supreme Command detachment with the Arks of Omen?
No.
No.
You can only take the Arks of Omen detachment and 1 allied detachment.
Yeah.
That's it. But you don't need a Supreme Command detachment.
Now,
if you've got something like Be'lakor...
No, can I use Abaddon as an example?
Yeah, use Abaddon, because this is quite impactful.
Because Abaddon was taken in every single Chaos army.
Yeah.
Give or take, right? Now, does he always have the Agent of Chaos keyword?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is he a HQ?
He is.
Okay, so you can still take Abaddon in the Arks of Omen detachment and have him just as like an Agent of Chaos in your detachment of Emperor's Children.
Yes.
Yeah, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Now, does he benefit from any Black Legion stratagems?
No, because you need a Black Legion detachment.
So before, people were making Abaddon busted because they were, advancing charging and making him a Red Corsair because of the Abaddon or the Black Legion strat.
Yep.
I was going to say Abaddon strat, but it's a Black Legion strat.
Yeah.
So if you want maximum benefit from Black Legion stratagems on Abaddon, you have to put Abaddon in a Black Legion Arks of Omen detachment full of Black Legion.
Yes.
Cool. That's
Good.
awesome.
Good.
So we will see Abaddon in list still. He's very strong. He has a 50-point upgrade as well.
Yeah.
And he's lost Armour Contempt.
Yeah.
Oh well, but he's still super strong for 350 points.
Yeah.
And I think this is a nice little change here.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. I think the other big changes here are 4 HQ slots, as I mentioned. Normally we're screwed with a battalion if we want to take 4 HQs, so we have to spend CP on other stuff. Lords of War, so if you're knights, any kind of knights, you don't need the mandatory HQ.
Yeah,
and you can just take the 3 compulsory Lord of War, and you now have access to 6 Lords of War slots. So maybe if you wanted to run different variants of War Dogs or Armiger class knights,
that's cool.
You have that option now, rather than being stuck to what you have to have.
Yeah.
Fortifications are in there. You've got 2 flyers maximum in there, and as you've mentioned, big changes, they're having the extra 3 slots for elite characters.
Yeah.
You don't need to run the mandatory 3 troops, because you can take 0 to 9 optional troops if you go with a different stack.
Yeah. All right, but there are some really cool benefits for taking troop units in this secondaries when we come to those.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to cover next?
I think we should cover core secondary changes.
All right then. So some of the core secondary changes. Let's get to that section. First of all, there's a bit here talking about if you take Chaos Space Marines and Space Marines. So you can still take your normal secondaries if you have a allied detachment.
That's right, yes.
All
so
right.
if your main Arks of Omen detachment is a faction, you get that faction secondaries.
You do. But
okay,
if you're a Chaos Space Marine or Space Marine,
right,
and you've got like a chapter or legion secondary,
okay,
you can only use that specific one if your entire army is made of that same chapter. Okay, excluding Agents of the Imperium, Agents of Chaos, or Unaligned. So if you want to put some Votann in your Blood Angels, you can't take the Blood Angel specific secondary.
Okay.
Secondary.
Big changes.
Big change. We'll come to that. So the big one here, assassination, stayed the same with one minor change.
Right.
If you get the kill with a troop unit or a armiger or war dog, you gain a CP. Yeah, so if your Harlequin troop unit goes in and absolutely murders a character, have a CP.
CPs for days.
Yep. Going to be strong with armigers, obviously, knights.
Yeah.
Going to be very strong with custodes.
Yeah.
Be very strong with Harlequins.
Yeah.
Any sort of real deadly troop unit in combat is great at assassination.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome at getting you some CPs.
Great for knights as well. And, strangely enough, does work even if they're allied knights.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is quite a cool way of maybe trying to get yourself some CPs. If your troops aren't very good, you can bring some knights in and do that for you.
All right, yeah. I like it. Yeah. Next one then is, next change is grind them down.
Okay.
Exactly the same. If a troop unit or one of those war dogs destroyed another unit,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you get CP.
Brilliant.
Okay. But everything else from grind them down, assassinate, and no prisoners will all remain the same. Okay. Okay. In terms of how they score.
Cool.
Right. Warp a ritual.
All right. Changes there.
Yeah, it's gone up. It's warpcraft. Warpcraft. Warp charge. Warp charge has gone up by 1, so it's now goes off on a 4.
Okay.
Any other changes, or was that just the only one on that one?
That's it, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Abhor the Witches remain the same. Psychic interrogation is gone up by 1 as well. So it used to go off on a 4, now it goes off on a 5.
Okay, that's significant.
What's even bigger though,
what?
Is you need line of sight, guys. Yeah. You can't just like do it from behind a wall. Oh, I'm going to interrogate you.
This is great because I feel like some armies really benefited from having access to really cheap psychers that they could just hide behind a wall and get this every turn.
Yeah.
Okay. I like this. It means that if you can see that character, you can get to them easier. It also means for armies that couldn't move through walls and things, it is a bit easier to get to these psychic characters too. Yeah, absolutely. Max has just super chatted in. And Max, thank you so much for your super chat. Super chats are a great way to support us here at the channel. Whether it's $1, $100, whatever it is that you want to give us, is a huge, huge thank you. We'll always stop and read out your super chats. It's a great way to support us here. He said, I play Necrons. Do you think these new rules open up more options for Necrons that don't make them have to rely on the Silent King or the Nightbringer? Well, I mean, important thing here is that Votann used to be once per detachment. There's still 1 per detachment. So maximum in your army now, if you use the heroic support stratagem, you could take 2. So you might consider swapping out your Votann for other units. When we come to the faction by faction thing, their secondaries have changed slightly. And we know from the balanced data slate that their obsec now is all consuming. Yeah, so Max, if it's okay, we'll come back to your question about the Necrons, because it's not really going to change too much from this book, but from the balanced data slate, how other armies are affected, I think is going to open up more options for your units. I agree. Right? I think, in short, yes, more options, definitely. Yeah,
it's going to force people to look a little bit deeper in that codex and go, oh, Silent King, cool, Nightbringer, good, let's keep it, a much better way. Okay, psychic interrogation, you need line of sight. Cool. All right, behind enemy lines has remained.
Not quite the same.
Oh,
it's actually better now.
Score 3 VPs if one unit.
That's right. Yeah.
So it used to be 2, it's now 3. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then you get 4 at the end if you've got 2 or more units. In addition, if one or more of those units is a troop unit, an armiger, you gain additional CP.
Right.
Harlequins are going to be like, woo, we're over here again, and I have another CP, thank you very much.
Now, bear in mind, that's still subject to the maximum of 1 CP outside your Battleforge bonus per turn, so you can't obviously stack all of these secondaries together, but it is a fantastic way of keeping your CPs. I really like it.
I like it.
There is a change with engage on all fronts.
There is.
I think this is a great change. I found this one always very, very difficult to do. It's a minor change, but it is better.
So the way you score 2 VPs has remained the same. 3 units, 6 inches in the quarters of a starting unit of 3 or more.
Okay.
But in order now to get the 3 VPs, you need to be in all 4 quarters, don't you?
Yes.
But now it's changed to 3 inches. And we all know there's a big difference between 3 inches and 6 inches. So, it's going to be much easier now to just get that other side of 3 inches from that quarter and, get those big 3 points.
Get 3 big points.
So you're rewarded for the kind of the 3er.
Yes.
And made that a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But
the 2's a bit harder.
Nice subtle adjustment there.
Yeah. I don't know whether that's enough to make me take it over behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
Competitively.
That's because we play fast armies.
That's true.
I'm sure for others out there that like
Yeah.
slightly slower armies, maybe it's a bit of a better option. Okay, there's been a subtle change to raise the banners. And you have to look pretty in depth to find this one.
Yeah.
The banner is said to be removed if your opponent controls the objective at the start of any command phase. Start of it. Was it end of?
I believe it was, yeah.
End of command phase.
End of command phase, yeah.
Because there's ways to trigger in your command phase to give units objective secured.
Yes. Yeah.
So you could go, oh, you've gone to take my banner. Haha, no, I'm going to be objective secured over there now. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Let's double check this is actually
double check that's changed. But I sat down and I thoroughly read everything here just so I could give you guys everything you needed to know. Oh, it is start, actually.
Okay.
Start, yeah.
So that isn't a change, Michael.
No,
but
you score it at the end, but it's still start.
Hey, there we go. So no changes on banners then. That's fine. We're allowed to make mistakes. That's your one. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
First strike. Retrieve data has stayed the same, but they've now called it retrieve battlefield data. Thank God we can call it the same thing in every iteration of this book.
Now, we've got, in a nutshell, we're not going to go over every single secondary for each faction.
Right. We were going to do this in the faction by faction bit. Yeah. This faction secondaries. I don't mind if you want to do it now.
Okay, we'll save it then.
Okay.
We'll save it. We'll save it for the faction 5 faction bit. Cool. Okay, cool. What's coming up next then?
Mission changes.
Mission changes. Now, on the whole, they're pretty much the same. We are talking about the Strike Force missions here. We're not going to look at the incursions. We're talking about the 2,000 point Strike Force missions. On the whole, they're the same.
Yeah.
Okay, you've still got your Recover the Relics, the Abandoned Sanctuaries, Data Scryer. But what they've done is soften them up a little bit.
Yes.
Remove the kind of swings that we've seen in those missions before. I really like the change where you cannot, for example, on Abandoned Sanctuaries, where you can't pre-game move, you can't infiltrate in no man's land. Do you know what you can't do turn 1?
What?
You can't bring in any reinforcements.
In no man's land?
In no man's land, turn 1.
That's good.
Yeah?
That's good.
That's really good.
Because, you know, if I was trying to screen maybe an Iron Hands drop pod, with an infiltrating unit, I couldn't do it, but the drop pod could still come down and just shoot me.
Do you know what also you can't do?
What?
You can't bring on biovore spore mines.
Oh, I guess they count as reinforcements, so you can't bring them down in
turn 1.
That's really interesting. I hadn't even thought of that. Like harpies as well, when they drop spore mines. You can't do that turn 1 in no man's land on Abandoned Sanctuaries.
Lol.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that is good.
If you summon any units of any kind in any way, like a Turvagon, can't set up a unit in that. That's okay. All right. I'm down.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, you could put them in your backfield maybe, but anyway.
Yeah.
So, not a huge amount of changes. Recover the Relics. In fact, Michael, you cover the big changes on the missions.
Okay.
Go through them all.
Recover the Relics has gained a little bit where you can get an extra CP for your Battlefield Forge bonus if you hold your opponent's deployment zone objective.
Okay.
It's not huge. You don't see it very often, but interesting change. Tear down their icons is exactly the same as it was before. Data Scryer Salvage, exactly the same as it was before.
Yeah.
Abandoned Sanctuaries, there's a couple of changes to it. So if you hold the middle objective and you kill a unit in the middle, you now get 3 points. It used to be just 2 if you did one or the other, or both. And there's no end game objective scoring. There's no 5 points just because you went second.
Thank the Lord. Yeah.
So big change that we're very happy about.
Yeah.
Conversion, this is the one where if your Warlord died, you didn't get CP. On a 4+, if your Warlord dead, you still get the CP. It softens the blow, really, especially if you've got like a Warlord that's really easy to kill.
Yeah.
Like a Knight, for example. The Scouring's unchanged. Tide of Conviction, I'm not a huge fan of the changes to this one.
Okay.
So on a 4+, a bit like the Warlord thing, if you don't hold your home objective, you still get a CP on a 4+. However, at the end of the game, it's 3 victory points per objective that you hold in your opponent's territory. So it used to be 2 for the ones in no man's land and 4 for the one in their home territory.
Right.
For a total of 8. But now this is 9 and there's no cap.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not 100% on this one. You will have to play the mission very differently and just absolutely make sure you pummel one flank and hold one. Yeah. Especially if you go first.
It would have been nice just to see them all to be 2 flat.
I would have liked to see 2 flat on the wall, yeah. And then
the last 2 Death and
Zeal haven't changed.
Yeah, unchanged. So look, not a huge amount of changes there. You can pick up this mission book and pretty much be good to go.
Yeah.
You know, you've got less secondary options. And we'll cover what they are when we get to the factions element. Okay, awesome. So what's next then?
So we've got some universal balance Dataslate things. So we just want to talk about everything that affects all armies in the game before we jump into faction-specific stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we've got the balance Dataslate.
I'm just going to see if there's any questions.
Okay, cool.
I don't think there's any ones here that really relate to what we've said now. But if you do have a question, please do chuck it in. Super chats are a great way for us to instantly see the questions that you want us to answer. All right. Okay, so now we're going to bring up the balance Dataslate. The first part is universal match play rules. All right. The first element is aircraft.
Right.
You can only take 2. Okay, in a strike force. We're already used to that anyway from previously. But now, here are the best ones.
What? What's happened?
Aircraft units have to start as strategic reserves.
What?
I know. Put those.
That is unbelievable.
I know, right?
But I want to drive over and bomb my opponent before they can do anything.
And then fly off?
And then fly off the board and just
guess what?
get free damage.
Guess what? That's the second bullet point.
What?
You can't do that as well. Now if you've got a bombing run or something, and you've basically got an ability that triggers after the end of your move, you actually have to end your move on the battlefield. Brilliant. What a great change.
All my bombers are now unplayable. This is unbelievable. I can't believe it.
I know. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. And now, jokes aside, again, like, it's a much more interactive play experience.
Agreed.
And that's what we want, interactive games. We don't want to be just shot off the table turn 1 because your opponent took 2 bombers. And yeah.
Important to note here that in Arks of Omen, strategic reserve is free now. You don't have to spend CP on that. So you won't be forced to spend CP just because you've got an aircraft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strategic reserves are free.
Strategic reserves free in Arks of Omen. Yeah. I think that opens up a huge amount of tactical possibilities. So yeah, I'm definitely looking at making use of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, okay, cool. So next balance update element is, where's my document gone? I've lost it. Sorry, everybody. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go. Right, indirect weapons.
Okay.
Indirect weapons still suffer the negatives for ballistic skill and the +1 to the save.
Yep.
But there's no element here about guard anymore.
Okay.
Unfortunately for you now, guard, you are also going to have to suffer those penalties just like everybody else.
I mean, if you're a guard player, advice is take stuff that can take orders, because you can get around that kind of stuff with +1 ballistic skill. Sorry, +1 to hit and an extra AP.
Right.
It like counters it directly. But some of your tanks will suffer a little. Just shoot things directly in the face that you can see.
Yeah.
So you'll be fine.
Absolutely. And then also, there's nothing here about Armour of Contempt. It's not
Check
there.
again, quick.
I'll check again. I'll refresh the page. Oh, it hasn't loaded. No Armour of Contempt.
Oh.
Is gone. No Armour of Contempt for Sisters, no for Blood Angels, Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, or Guard Tanks. No Armour of Contempt, meaning AP1 is now very viable.
Yes.
AP1 is a thing.
Now, I have a few things to say about Armour of Contempt going.
Go on then.
I have always been of the opinion that Armour of Contempt did a lot more bad to the game than good.
Okay.
Especially for Space Marines.
Okay.
Because before Armour of Contempt, people used to take AP1.
They did.
Right? After Armour of Contempt, people take AP3 and 4.
Yeah.
So with Armour of Contempt and with AP1 and no Armour of Contempt, you've got a 4-up save. With Armour of Contempt and AP3 and 4, you've got a 5-up save.
Yeah.
So actually, you're almost more survivable depending on what's shooting you now.
Well,
and there's a few other benefits.
There's a lot of other benefits.
And when you're shooting, you don't have to worry about Armour of Contempt.
Yeah, you don't have to do that whole, oh, hang on a minute, let me just factor in the Armour of Contempt, then I got cover, and then you're minus this, and cool. Yeah, it can be much easier.
Much easier.
Great. Apart from if you're Votann, they're still having the same problems.
Yes, it really, I think a lot of factions benefit from that going.
Yeah. So remember, you still get void armour if your leagues are Votann.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, here we go then. So the next part is bodyguard, still the same. Okay. Exactly the same there. Now, this isn't quite in the same order as it used to be. I believe it used to be alphabetical.
Yeah.
It's not now. We'll go through them.
Okay.
All right. I think they did it just to fit on pages by the looks of it.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
So here we go. Chaos Demons. Delete the following ability from the flickering flame weapons. You now no longer automatically hit What is their ballistic skill?
3 up.
3 up, so you need to hit on a 3. So in a pure Demons detachment, you can get +1 to hit.
Yeah, if you take the Tzeentch.
You can hit on 2s.
Yep.
And can you reroll 1s?
You can reroll 1s if you've got a greater demon of Tzeentch.
Yep.
This is really important.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Warpstone table for demons, you require the whole detachment to be from that god.
Ooh.
Which means that if you take a multi-god demons detachment,
Yeah.
or like Disciples of Bellicor, you're not going to have access to the Warpstone table for that god.
Ooh.
Which means the only way of getting the +1 to hit Flamers is by taking Tzeentch demons Arks of Omen Detachment.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because you don't get a Warpstone table if you're an ally or you've got other units in the list.
Right, okay. So, or if you were a Thousand Sunned army and you put a patrol in of Tzeentch, you can only take 2 units of Flamers, not 1.
Yeah.
You also need to take an arbitrary troop unit to go along with those. There's a bit of a tax there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now, that's great. And then obviously the Overwatch is nowhere near as horrific.
Exactly. I think the Overwatch is probably the biggest change from it. And also, because they're assault, when they advance, they'll have to take a -1 to hit.
Yeah.
So they're nowhere near as mobile either.
Yeah.
So they can have the same points cost, I think.
Yeah,
in this situation.
Cool. Space Marines. This is huge.
Yeah.
Doctrines now, it does stay, obviously, every model in your army has to be Adeptus Astartes.
Okay.
You can stay in a Doctrine. You can choose whether you want to move to Tactical. So you go, start off in Dev Doctrine. You can choose to move to Tactical.
Okay.
You can then choose to move to Assault Doctrine, or you could just stay in Devastator Doctrine.
Right. There's some armies that are really good in Devastator Doctrine, Steve.
There are some really good armies, like Iron Hands. Very good. Very strong.
Bit of a sleeper.
Yeah.
Ravenwing.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah, full game of Dev Doctrine, that's money.
Or basically full game of Tactical Doctrine for something like Ultramarines.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I think that's great.
It's really awesome. Okay. Then one more benefit for Marines is that basically your troop units become sticky when they're on objectives.
Yeah.
So therefore, you can start a unit on an objective, and in your command phase, if you're on it at that start, then it's yours.
Yeah.
You can leave it and it remains yours until your opponent comes and takes it off you.
Yeah.
We've seen this rule happen on like certain missions like Death and Zeal, but now it's for all OBSEC troop units for Marines.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
really
fantastic.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, there is, in the Marine section, you would have normally seen Salamanders here, because they would have had a bit which said you cannot re-roll the wound rolls against them. That's gone. Yeah. Because you basically got your old version of Armour Contempt back.
Yes. Because so you can actually use the codexes.
Yeah, you use
trait on them.
Yeah, so I think you reduce AP 1 and 2 by 1.
I think that's right.
It's like a kind of pseudo Armour Contempt.
Yeah.
So you get that back. So if you want your Armour Contempt, that's what you take. It just won't work on AP 3, 4 and the rest of it like it used to.
Nice.
All right?
Nice. Now, before you jump into the next one, the balanced Dataslate updates we're also going to do as part of the faction by faction thing.
Oh, have I ruined it?
No, because we've only done Chaos Demons and Space Marines. So we can talk about all of the Space Marines changes now as part of this Space Marine section.
Okay.
One of them I do want to talk about is their secondaries.
Okay.
Okay, now Codex Warfare got a massive glow up.
Okay, yep.
All right, not only because you can stay in Dev Doctrine for however long you want, but you get 2 points if you kill an enemy unit with a heavy or grenade weapon in Dev Doctrine.
And it's not capped?
It's not capped. It used to be 5 per Doctrine.
Ugh.
It's not capped.
That is...
I think it's great. It really helps, obviously, Iron Hands or let's say Ravenwing and that kind of thing. But it also really helps armies like maybe Ultramarines because it's not capped anymore. Yeah. It also helps combat armies because if you do all of your damage in the last 3 turns of the game, you get a point for every unit you kill.
It's got to kill 15 units with a melee or pistol weapon.
Cool.
Hard,
but you could get at least 10 potentially. Yeah. Depending on what you're playing against.
Well, you might get some kills with some other phases anyway, with a little bit of...
I think with the points changes, which we'll discuss in a minute as well, for Space Marines, you're probably going to get a fair few kills with Tactical Doctrine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, next one, Shock Tactics. That was in the data slate. It's remained the same here. Basically, you get 4 VPs if you control an objective. That will control by your opponent. Remember, that has to be done with the Adeptus Astartes unit.
Oath's better now.
Oath is a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. You score 1 VP if a character, vehicle, or monster was destroyed. Okay. Score 1 VP if Adeptus Astartes failed a morale check. Provided no Adeptus Astartes failed a morale check.
Yep.
And none of your units fell back.
Cool.
And then 2 VPs if you've got an Adeptus Astartes unit, not core. It used to be core. And you have to be wholly within 6 of the centre.
Right. Landspeeder. Rhino. Gladiator.
5 Assault Centurions.
5 Assault Centurions, yes.
Yeah. No longer do I need to bubble my character. I can just put them in.
Good. I mean, these needed to get better.
Yeah.
Because not only were Space Marines struggling,
but
also every Space Marine faction has lost a bunch of secondaries.
That's it.
If they were a sub-faction. Yeah,
so if you're a sub-faction Space Marine, with the exception of Grey Knights, you've now got 1 secondary. You don't have 4 or 3 anymore, you've got 1. And they've kind of picked one from the ones that you originally had.
Yeah.
All right?
We're probably not going to go through every single one.
No.
Most of them are unchanged. A couple of them added tweaks, so you get an extra point for X or Y, like the Death Watch one, you get an extra point for.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Blood Angels kept Relentless Assault.
Shame.
I think we'll mention the ones that everybody kept.
Yeah.
So Blood Angels kept Relentless Assault.
Black Templars kept Carry Out Their Vow.
Okay, which was arguably one of the worst ones. But hey-ho.
Yeah.
Dark Angels kept Stubborn Defiance, and there's no change. It still has to be the same unit within range of the objective marker.
Yeah.
Death Watch got Cull Order. Fierce Iron Hands Raven Guard, Salamanders had slight tweaks, but they're all the same ones as before.
Yeah.
Wolves, we got Warrior Pride, which is their best one.
Yeah, and they're still really good.
It's still really good.
It's the 3 VPs for just charging with 2 or more units. Yeah.
And then Ultramarines and White Scars remain the same pretty much.
Okay.
These are great because it encourages with Codex Warfare a balanced list rather than going all in on one area of the game.
Yeah.
Should we talk points?
Let's talk points.
Let's talk points.
Probably could have done an hour just on points for Marines.
We probably could have done an hour on points. This is probably going to be a reasonably long section.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of Marine armies. So we'll talk about Marines basic first, and then we'll have a quick look at some of the other sub-factions. Okay. So, Stephen, this is crazy. Everything's free. I'm going to have 2,000 points of extra free stuff and play 4,000 points in a 2,000 point game.
Cool. Good luck with that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's not quite the truth.
No.
Don't always listen to Reddit for your, or certain things that just love leaking information, spreading rumours. It's mainly for clickbait, okay? So we'd like to try and have a bit more balanced viewpoint on things.
Yeah.
Just because that's a little bit more relative to the actual game we play.
Yeah.
Although it is 40k, we don't live in a fantasy world.
No.
We don't actually live in one. We play a fantasy world, but we don't live in one.
We don't play the best fantasy world, do we?
No. Come on, Warhammer Fantasy, please come back. Come on. Give me my Bretonians back. I want the Green Knight. Anyway, okay, cool. So, a lot of the guff is now free.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the term guff. Okay?
Right. Okay.
Just to make it cleaner. So you look at the data sheet. It's like a captain. All right.
Okay.
You got 85 points for your captain.
Nice.
25 points for a jump pack.
Okay.
And the only real decent weapon you could take was the Thunder Hammer. So that's the one you've got to pay for.
Cool.
It's 10 points.
Right.
But the guff like the Power Axe or the Power Sword or the Lightning Claw or the...
Chainsword.
Yeah, it's all free.
Good.
So if you want to have a Combi Melter and a Storm Shield, that combination's free.
Awesome.
All right?
Awesome.
So they've basically looked at it and gone, Jump Pack, pretty significant, we'll leave the points in. Thunder Hammer, pretty significant, we'll leave the points in.
Cool.
Yeah? And that's kind of what we're going to see throughout this. Yeah. If the weapons are a bit of a muchness in terms of their performance, it's probably free.
Yeah. And if stuff becomes free, usually the cost of the unit will either stay the same or go up a tiny bit.
Or increased a smidge, yeah. So you've lost Armour of Contempt, but you've had some points decreases in the kind of like total loadout cost.
Yeah.
So are we going to go through all of these?
We can speed through.
Okay. Right. Shall I go for this?
Yeah, all right. Here we go.
Right, I'm only going to call out anything that's red on here because that's changed.
Yeah, cool.
All right? So you can read it home with me if you've got your points.
Sing along.
Sing along. Okay, Captain in Gravis Armour, 105 points. Captain in Phobos Armour, 85 points. Captain in Terminator Armour, 5 points for the Thunderhammer, but 100 points base. Captain on Bike, 100 points, 10 points for a Thunderhammer. Captain with Mastercrafted Bolt Rifle, 95 points. Chaplain, 70 points. Chaplain in Terminator Armour, 85 points. Librarian, 80 points. Both of those jump packs are 25 points. Librarian in Phobos Armour, 90 points. Librarian in Terminator Armour, 95 points. Lieutenant is 70 points with a 10-point Thunderhammer. Lieutenant with Phobos Armour, 70 points. Lieutenant in Reaver Armour, 65 points. Primaris Captain, 65 points. Primaris Chaplain, 75 points. Primaris Chaplain on Bike, 115 points. Primaris Lieutenant, 85 points. Librarian, sorry. Primaris Lieutenant, 65 points. Primaris Tech Marine, 70 points. Commander, up your chapter command abilities. These are relevant. Chapter Ancient, 15. Chapter Champion, 10. Chapter Master, 35. Chapter Apothecary, 30. Chief Librarian, 20. Master of Sanctity, 20. Master of the Forge, 15. Okay, now we're into troops.
Okay, cool. So to sum that up, they've all gone down like 15 to 10 to 20 points.
Yeah.
And all the chapter commands cheaper now.
Yeah.
So in general, all of those characters that you want to take for Space Marines, all cheaper.
The only thing you got to pay for is 10 points for a Thunderhammer or 25 for a jump pack.
Otherwise, just stick whatever you want on there.
Yeah. Now, troops.
Okay.
Assault Intercessors are 17 points per model, all weapons free.
Nice.
Heavy Intercessors, 23 points per model, all weapons free.
That's a drop of 5 points per model. Significant.
That's big. Incursors, 18 points per model.
Okay, cheaper.
It's like 20-point decrease, I think. Infiltrators, 20 points a model.
Yeah, 20 points cheaper.
Intercessors, 18 points a model, all weapons free.
Yeah, 90 points, yeah.
Tactical Squad, 18 points a model.
Everything free.
Everything free. So by all means, take a free las cannon. Have a power fist on your sergeant. Give him a plasma pistol.
It's cool.
Go nuts. Right? You get extra brownie points if you put a flamer on one guy, a missile launcher on another.
Yes.
And then you take a power sword and a plasma pistol. If you do that in a tournament, you just win.
Yeah.
You get 100 flat points. It says it right here.
It has to be a full squad of 10.
Full squad. Yeah. Coming out of a rhino.
Yes.
You know.
I like it.
With a goblin green base. If you do that, you just win, okay? Right, so, elites. This is massive.
Okay.
30 points a model for an aggressor. A unit of 5 Michaels, 150 points for a unit of 5 aggressors.
They get a lot of shots, and those shots can very easily be AP1, which, with Armour of Contempt gone...
Relevant.
Very relevant.
And you can stay in Tactical Doctrine. Yes. Ancient in Terminator Armour is 90, Apothecary 65, Blade Guard Ancient 75, Blade Guard Veterans 35, they remain the same. Assault Centurions, my favourites, 60 points a model. That is actually an increase.
I mean, you did do quite well with them, so...
Games Workshop clearly hate me. They have gone up in points. But I'll tell you what, their Hurricane Bolters were 10 points.
Yeah.
They're free.
Cool.
The Melter Guns, each arm, were 5 points each.
Right.
They're now free.
Cool, great.
So you're paying a little bit more, but you're getting a lot more.
Yes.
All right? Okay, cool. Cover that. But if you just wanted to run a combat unit like I did, it's actually nerfed me. Because I never bothered with the Hurricane Bolters.
Steve, you did need to be nerfed.
Yeah.
I think you got sent a special balance Dataslate, actually.
This is it.
That was like a Steven box.
Get nerfed.
Nerfed.
Company Ancient, 65. Company Champion, 50 points.
50 points for Killy combat characters.
Company Veterans. Look, Company Veterans, you've still got to pay for all your weapons.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
You're still...
You could be the elite of the elite, the captain's finest. But you got to spend for your upgrades.
Well, they probably just didn't want like a 20-point model, 2 20-point models running around with 2 las cannons.
Exactly.
That'd be ridiculous.
That kind of stuff is silly.
So I'm glad that stayed the same.
Yeah.
Contempt of Dreadnought 140, Dreadnought 120, Invictus 140, Ironclad the same.
Ironclad didn't go down.
I know.
Sad.
Judiceur 75, Primus Apothecary 70, Primus Ancient 70. Dreadnought 185, Redemptive, this is 185, so he stayed the same. Reavers 16 points a model. Could they get any cheaper? Because they have. They've just got cheaper.
That 80 points for 5 Reavers.
Relic Terminators are 33 points a model. Scouts are 12 points a model. Servitors are the same. Stern Guard Veterans 20 points a model, but all weapons free. So go to town with those combi guns.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Might see some of them on the table. Terminator Assault Squad's 33 points a model. Terminator Squad's 33. So whether you want a Thunderhammer, a Storm Shield, Lightning Claws, you want to take
Cyclone Missile Launcher.
Cyclone Missile Launcher, it's free.
Everything on Terminators is now free.
Yeah. Now, one point I will make on this we'll cover this now quickly.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
On Death Watch.
Death Watch Terminators are 35 points per model.
Yeah.
And the missile launcher is going to be plus 10 points.
Yeah.
But everything else is free. That's to make up for the fact that Death Watch Terminators can have 3 big weapons per 5 in the unit, so it's a bit of balancing there.
Yeah.
Likewise, Wolfguard Terminators are 34 points a model.
Yeah.
With free upgrades, and that is also to make the Wolfguard leaders a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
As well.
We've had a super chat here from Max who said, "Can Steve do the speed read for every faction?" I mean, I could try. I could really try that. Yeah. Okay. So, glad you like the speed read.
Vanguard Veterans.
Vanguard Veterans, 20 points a model.
So they actually went up.
Yeah. Jump Pack still 3 points. Lightning Cores 3 points. Power Fist 5 points. Storm Shield 5 points. Thunderhammer 10 points. Heavy Thunderhammer 12 points.
Okay, so their hammers and fists got a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
They went up overall, which is fine because people use them all the time. Probably still will.
Yeah. Venerable Dread, same. Veteran Intercessor Squads, 20 points a model.
What are they?
I've never heard of them. Fast Attack Assault Squads, 18 points. This is actually interesting because Assault Squad you had to pay for some of the better weapons, like the Lightning Claws were free, but now you get that cool Chainsword. Yeah, he's free.
Viscerator.
Yeah, so that's all free. Attack Bite Squads are 50 points, whether you want a Heavy Bolter or a Melty Melter. Cool. Okay. The Bike Squad, the Multi Melter's 10 points.
Everything else free.
Yeah.
Nice.
Inceptors. You ready?
I'm ready.
As soon as I say this, people are going to go straight on whether you get your models from, and they're going to be ordering a lot of these.
Okay.
Yeah. 40 points a model.
Well, you see, as soon as I got the book, I decided to order 18
Good man.
Games Workshop directly.
Good man.
That's how we do it.
Yeah. Have you got them built yet?
Yeah, built and painted.
Built
I
and
had
painted.
a few days, yeah. I'm joking. Obviously,
Smooth.
I didn't order any. I'm not interested. However, Plasma Inceptors being 40 points is not insignificant.
No, it's cool because, like, for my Blood Angels, I'm like, oh, cool, they can go back in the list now. Yeah. 200 points for 5. I've used them, and in some games I found them terrible.
Yeah.
In others I found them pretty good.
Yeah.
So I actually feel now I could see value of them coming back into my list. Yeah.
AP4 is great against Armour of Contempt.
Yeah.
Because it's gone.
Yeah.
But they're much easier to kill.
Yeah.
Because Armour of Contempt's gone. So
yeah.
I think I like it.
Okay, cool. So Invader, the ATV is 70 points, land speed is the same. The Outriders, this is really relevant, 35 points a model for Outriders.
That's quite cool.
That's really cheap.
White Scars. Nice.
Now these have got a massive decrease. The Storm Speeder Hellstrike 115, Storm Hammer Strike 125, Thunder Strike 135. Suppressor Squad's 90 points now for 3 models. They're good for 90 points, I think.
Yeah,
especially
all of the upgrades from all of those, like the speeds and everything, free.
It's free. Centurions, just 70 points flat. Take whatever weapon you want.
Cool.
Devastators, 23 points a model, and the only weapon you have to pay for is multi-melters. Big shout out here to the Cherubs and stuff. That's all free. Grav Cannons, free. 23 points a model, and you can take...
I think we're going to see more Devastator squads.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
A lot more, because if you think about Codex Warfare's 2 victory points for killing a unit in Dev Doctrine,
yeah,
I think no matter your chapter, it's probably worth having 10 in a drop pod or 5 in a drop pod or something.
Yeah.
Just to get some points there.
Yeah.
Because it's so cheap.
Eliminator's the same, Eradicator's 45, everything's free. The Fire Strike Servo Turret's 80. Now, here are the obscene changes. The Gladiator Lancer is 125. I believe he was 140 before.
Yeah.
The Gladiator Reaper, 150 points. Yeah. Yeah. 150 points for a Gladiator Reaper.
That thing's got like 40 shots.
Yeah, and AP1 or 2?
AP1.
Yeah.
For 24 of them, but AP2 in Dev Doctrine. That's quite cheap. Toughness 8, 12, 13 wins.
3 up save.
Save. Guys, be prepared to try and kill some of these. Maybe think about your army list having a bit more anti-tank in it.
Yeah, I think a 3 Gladiator Reaper and 3 Devastator squads is going to be a very, very common build, I would say.
Yes.
Looking at this.
Yeah.
With 3 units of Inceptors in, 3 units of Aggressors. That's pretty good.
Get your screens ready for those drop pods.
Yeah. Hellblasters, 30 points.
Love that. 3 points down each.
Okay, nice.
I like that.
Predator, Annihilator. I wish that... Why are they paying for their Hunter-Killer missiles? Come on, guys. Come on,
Comes in the kit.
Come on, give me that Hunter-Killer for free. Right, the Repulsor. 220 points, guys.
No paid upgrades. It's all free. Same for all the Predators and stuff.
Yeah.
That's 220 points. That's a lot of guns.
And that's a lot of transport capacity.
Yeah.
Repulsor Executioner is 250. Everything else has remained the same. The Hammerfall Bunker's 100.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty similar.
Impulsor's 100 now with all the upgrades rolled in.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically everything, if it hasn't gone down, has had all its upgrades.
Apart from Hunter-Killer missiles, because clearly they're premium.
Look, mate, it's hard to make them. All right, you got to ship them around the galaxy. It's difficult stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Black Templars.
Black Templars. All right.
I think the Black Templars are a big winner from this book.
Yeah, agreed.
Grimaldus 120, the Emperor's Champion 90, High Marshal Helbrecht is 140, Primaris Sword Brethren 22 points a model. Everything's free. Okay, Crusader Squads 13 points and 18 points, respectively, of whether you're a scout or a normal dude, and everything's free.
Nice.
Primaris 14 and 17. Okay, wow.
Everything free?
Everything free.
That's
the
crazy.
Relic Bearers are still the same. 10, 10, okay. 15, 10, 15, 15, 10, and 20. They're like those relic cool little add-on weapons you can take.
So, important note on Black Templars here is a lot of the time people take the vow for have a 5-up in Votann.
Yeah.
You can't have cover. With Armor Contempt gone, they're still just as good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff against Armor Contempt would push them to a 5-up.
Yeah.
So I think they are definitely one of the bigger winners.
Yeah, and just huge points, decreases. I know, we love Black Templars, one of our armies. So yeah, could be seeing Black Templars on the channel soon, hopefully. Right, Blood Angels. No one plays these stupid,
Oh, it's just
terrible
meat-headed muscle boys.
Yeah.
That want to charge everything
with big hammers.
Right,
Mephiston is down to 120. Everything else has stayed the same. Gabriel Seth's down to 130, who's actually baller at 130. Cool. Right. I feel like I've had another nerf here. My Death Company are up in points. Yeah, 20 points a model.
Dante's still 165 points.
I know. And he's only got 6 wounds.
He is -1 to hit in combat though, which is...
And from shooting. So, Death Company Marines, 20 points a model.
Okay.
The Jump Pack is 3 points. The Power Fist is 5 points. The Thunderhammer's 10 points.
Okay.
But, before I was running Power Fist and Inferno Pistol?
Yes.
Guess what? Inferno Pistol's free, baby. Pow, pow, pow. Cool.
Okay.
But I've lost Armor Contempt.
I thought you didn't do shooting.
I don't. I always miss though, don't worry. I can take them for free.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think Games Workshop...
Dante, any time I've ever played Dante, he's always missed with Inferno Pistol.
We played the other day and he still missed. Death Company Intercessors, 18 points a model. Sanguinary Guard, 30 points a model. So they have not changed.
Right.
Sanguinary Guard. They've just lost Armor Contempt.
Okay.
What they've gained is they can swap their Angelus bolt gun for an Inferno Pistol for free.
Okay.
It used to be a 5-point increase.
It's much of a muchness, really, because it's only 6-inch range.
Yep.
Whereas the other one is, what, 24?
18, I believe.
18, strength 4, AP 1.
2 shots as well.
Yeah, so actually you get into AP 2 in Tactical Doctrine.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. And is the Power Fist free as well?
The Power Fist is free. Do you know what? I've kind of looked at it and I thought, I don't know if I'd even take them anyway. The Power Fists. You can get a +1 to hit when you're near a Warlord.
Yeah.
But I might have 1 unit of Fists in there.
Yeah.
But I think if I was running 3 units of Sandguard, I'd have 1 Fist unit, and then I'd have 2 units of probably Sword still.
Yeah.
Because -4 just kills Marines now. Yeah,
right.
Straight through.
Can we move on to the most important and the best unit in the Blood Angels book, please?
The Bold Predator.
The Bold Predator, yes.
110 points flat.
3 upgrades.
I looked at putting 1 in the list and I still couldn't justify it. Yeah, still couldn't do it.
Well, it's like a Gladiator Reaper.
I know.
But 40 points cheaper and 100 points worse.
Yeah. You can advance it though.
Oh.
Like loads.
Okay.
But guess what?
What?
You can't shoot.
Oh, because none of its weapons are assault.
Yeah. Shame. Okay, Dark Angels. Right. Asmodee is 115, Azrael 140, Belial 125, Ezekiel 105. I'm just calling out the changes. Lazarus 100, Ravenwing Tailmaster 160, Samiel 135, Deathwing Strike Master 85, Deathwing Apothecary 90, Deathwing Champion 70.
Okay, so quickly, the Ravenwing Tailmaster has gotten cheaper and loads better.
Yeah.
Because nobody ever shot him anyway, so armor content didn't matter. He's got heavy weapons.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to just stick in heavy doctrine and shoot away. So big winner, Ravenwing.
Huge winner, yeah. Wraithwing Ancient 90, Wraithwing Apothecary 90, Wraithwing Black Knights 30, all weapons free. 30 points for a Black Knight and it's free. Champion 60, Death Shroud 110, Vengeance 100, Jetfighter 115, Dark Talon 170.
155 for the Jetfighter.
What did I say?
115.
Yeah.
We don't want to give them plain enthusiasts too much.
Yeah, but they got to start a strat reserve now, so
Yeah.
Cool.
Deathwing Terminators are cheap.
Yeah.
They could be a problem.
They're going to be a big problem because they've got transhuman, -1 damage, and 6 up, feel no pain.
Yeah, could be a problem.
It's going to be a big problem.
Cheap. You can probably fit more than 40 in your list now.
You can definitely 40 was the list. Now it's going to be
it's going to be like 50.
50. So it's going to be a problem. Yeah. Right, Deathwatch. Okay, so Deathwatch, Cassius 85.
Sorry, there is something very important to mention about Dark Angels.
What's that?
Now, they used to get a bonus for being in an Outrider detachment for Ravenwing, or a Deathwing detachment, they get Obsec on their Terminators. Now, as it stands, with Arks of Omen and everything, that doesn't exist.
Cool, that's good.
So no Obsec Terminators. We could maybe hope that gets updated. It's quite fluffy.
I'm not hoping for that.
But it would mean that if you did then do that, you wouldn't really be able to run a multi, like Greenwing, Deathwing, and Ravenwing, and have them have Obsec units.
Yeah.
So,
but there's easy ways to give Obsec, right? You've got Rights of War, you've got the banner.
Yeah.
There's still loads of good ways to add it, and I actually prefer that because I don't want to see Deathwing spammed again.
Neither do I.
That was not cool. So Deathwatch, Cassius 85, Codicea Nactorian is 90.
Who?
Who? I don't know. Have I even said that right?
Codicea Nactorian. Yeah, these are name characters.
Watch Captain 95, Watchmaster 115.
He's gone down 20 points, the Watchmaster.
That's good.
Quite good.
Troops. How many points are they each?
So the Black Shield's 27.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the other units, despite what it says, it's 27 per model.
27 per model.
27 per model. So they have gone up.
Yeah.
5 points. But the Heavy Thunderhammer is 12. Thunderhammer 10. Xenophase Blade 5. Everything else is free.
Yeah.
Your Infernus Heavy Bolter.
Coolest weapon in the galaxy.
Exactly. Coolest weapon. Your Storm Shield is free.
Nice.
Well, it's kind of rolled into your cost now.
Yeah.
So you may as well take one. Any of your combi weapons, free.
Cool. So
big win.
We're not certainly taking an extra 2,000 points of free weapons.
No.
That's why you shouldn't listen to the leaks, guys, and the rumours. And I had to bite my tongue so hard when I saw stuff come out.
Yeah.
I had to, honestly, I barely got anything left.
It's tough.
Cassius is 220 points for the entire unit. That's Kill Team Cassius. Deathwatch Terminators are...
So they're 35 per model, and it's 10 points for a Cyclone Missile Launcher.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because if you could take 165 points, have 3 Cyclone Missile Launchers in there.
Yeah.
So Deathwatch Terminators can take more heavy weapons, therefore more expensive.
We've got a quick question here on, have they figured out if Ynnari can take Ynnari Secondaries? You will be able to now.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so. If your Arks of Omen Detachment is Asuryani, which it is, right? You can take Asuryani Secondaries. So, so the Arks of Omen, I think so.
Because this would supersede the Eldari Codex, right? Interesting.
So there's nothing in here that's going to say...
No, it's not, is it?
No. So there's nothing here that says that. And then if we go back to that first page...
Yeah.
If a secondary objective is listed in the faction secondaries, it can only be selected by a player if their Arks of Omen detachment is a detachment that matches the faction heading at the top of that secondary... top of that list of secondary objectives.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because you're still you're counted as an Asuryani detachment, so yes, you would get them because you get Asuryani.
Yeah.
So you get the Asuryani, you get Wrath of Cain, Scryfrucher, Scout
nothing in here that says your whole army has to be Asuryani, which was the issue before.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah, that's great. Great news for Ynnari players.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yes. Okay, so...
fast attack, Death Watch bikes, 35 points. They've actually gone up 5 points. I'm a bit miffed about that because they're not very good and they don't even have core. But whatever.
Have all your kill team specialists come down?
Yes.
They must have.
Compared to the original book, the Munitorum manual, I think they dropped in a different
smidge.
thing. And then the Corvus is 150 points.
Ooh.
It doesn't start on the table and it's a transport, so...
Okay, that's a bit of a shame for him.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, okay, cool. Imperial Fists, Lysander 120, Cantor 130, Torgaragon 120. Pharos 130, Shrike 120, Adrax Agatone 120, Hulk and Hestede 110, Khan and Bike 100, Kroso Khan 100. Kroso Khan's 100 points. He's just basically for free now then.
Yeah.
Ultramarines.
Shame he doesn't have a bike.
I know. Ultramarines, Captain Sicarius 105, Cassius 85, Tigerius 120, Calgar 160.
That's a big decrease for Calgar.
Uriel Ventress is 100, Chapter Ancients 90, Chapter Champion 65, Honor Guarder 45, Vitrix Honor Guarder 55.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good. Right.
No change for Gilliman.
No, he's staying the same at 300. So the Space Wolves, he's now cheaper than Abaddon. Arjax Rockfist 100, but Bjorn the Fell-Handed 155, Kansas Wolfbane 100, Death Wolf 120, Dragagons 90, Grimnar 140, On Stormstrider 160, Najal 120, Blackmane 110, Uric the Slayer 100. They've had, pretty much drops across the board on all their characters. Yeah. Bloodclaws are 17 points model. The Wolf Pack leader's 18 with a 10-point Thunderhammer. So like we've said before, Thunderhammers are pretty much what you're paying for. Grey Hunters at 18 points with all their weapons for free. Murderfangs 140. Wolfguard are now
20.
No, I don't believe they are.
Oh, they might have gone up to 22.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, they're
most are upgrades.
And then jump packs you still have to pay for. Lightning Claw you pay for. Power Fist, Storm Shield, Thunderhammer is what you've all got to pay for. Wolfen 20 are still the same.
Yeah, Wolfen have not changed.
Thunderwolf Cavalry are 35 points a model. So your Storm Shield's now free. Your Power Fist is 5 points, and your Thunderhammer's 10 points.
So hear me out here.
Go on.
Armor Contempt going.
Yeah.
Means Storm Shields back in.
Yeah.
So units like these Thunderwolves that can have Storm Shields.
Yeah.
Are now suddenly in a much better place.
Yeah.
So yeah, Storm Shield's a big win.
Yeah, no, definitely. Long Fangs are 23 points a model, basically the same kind of shtick as what we've seen. Terminators, though, Wolfguard Terminators are
34 points a model.
So they're 1 point extra.
Yeah.
Because they get some extra benefits in free weapon combinations.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we've had a couple of super chats here. Thank you so much, James. Hey guys, great content as always. What shooting do you like for BT? Well, BT is normally quite good at delivering your broadband and your phone line.
Yeah.
But do you reckon that's Black Templars?
I use BT.
You use BT? I think we use BT here.
Yeah.
Black Templars, do you reckon that
I think that's Black Templars, yeah.
What shooting? I
think Inceptors, just the general good stuff, really.
The good stuff.
I think things like repulsors are good because they also transport your deadly units.
3 repulsors.
3 repulsors, 30 crusaders, or what they call brethren.
Yeah.
The dudes.
Redemptor Dreadnoughts are good now.
I think Redemptor Dreadnoughts are just as good.
Yeah.
If not better, because there's no armor contempt to shoot at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, even running a Gladiator or something
Plasma Inceptors.
Plasma Inceptors, good, yeah.
Okay, Max has said Deathwing Frag Cannons free. Yes. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's them. Right, we're on to Grey Knights now.
Okay.
All right.
Grey Knights. Did they have any balanced data slate changes?
No.
Right.
No, they have no changes on the balanced data slate.
Not in the balanced data slate.
No. And basically, guys, if you are a Grey Knight player, you probably need to buy some new models. You're going to have a lot of room for free stuff.
Yep. I'm just going to check the secondaries, but you carry on.
Okay.
I think there's some big changes in here.
Right, so I'll rattle through these extremely quickly. Let me know, guys, in the chat if you like my speed read, or if not, if you find it annoying, I won't do it. The Brother Captain is 100, the Brother Captain Stern is 110, the Brotherhood Champion is 60, the Librarian is 95, the Tech Marine is 70, Crow is 85, Grandmaster 110. Sorry, 120. Apologies. And the Demon Hammer's 10 points. Okay, so Demon Hammers are pretty much 10 points across the board. Nemesis Dread Knight is the same. Voldus is 135. The Chaplain is 100. Drago's 165. Brotherhood Terminator squads are 35 points a model. Strike squads are 20 points a model. Brotherhood Apothecaries 90 points a model. Ancients 90. Dread Knights 130. Paladin Ancients 100. Paladins 45 a model. Purifiers 23. All weapons free now.
Yeah, in every squad, all of them heavier weapons, incinerators, side cannons, all free.
Yeah, everything's free. Fast Attack, the Inceptors are 24 points a model, everything free. Purgations are 22 points a model, everything free.
That's good. I love it because I think the Grey Knights special weapons are actually really cool. And having them for free in there is excellent. So yeah. I really like that.
Flyers are still the same, 185, 260 and 165.
None of the fancy pointed upgrades changed at all. Secondaries though, their teleport assault, where you kill something from teleporting, is actually 5 points now, each time you do it. So you only need to teleport and kill something 3 times, 3 turns in a row, and you max a secondary. 5 victory points for it. I think that's a go-to for Grey Knights now.
I mean, if I'm playing against Grey Knights, I'm going to already write down the fact that they're,
That's huge, huge. However, Purifying Ritual is now a 6 to cast.
Right, okay.
And you get 5 VPs if you do it 4 or more times. Okay. So slightly harder to do, you still have to control the objective.
Yeah.
So that's taken a little bit of a hit.
Yeah.
We know that Psychic Interrogation's taken a hit as well.
Yeah.
But No Mercy, No Respite, Teleport Assault, 5 victory points for killing a unit. Big win.
Yeah.
Big win.
Yeah. Huge. Wow.
That concludes Grey
Knights. Grey Knights are done, yeah. Adeptus Sororitas.
Any balanced Dataslate changes?
Well, they've lost Armour Contempt. And their Valarius Heart have lost the no rerolls.
To wounds,
They're back to their original wording from the Codex.
They still get their Miracle Dice
they still
every
do.
turn? Yeah, cool. Okay,
no changes.
Excellent. So,
now, I'll do points quickly.
Yep.
And there's only one to do. Repentia. 16 points a model. That's it.
Oh, there's a couple more for some of the tanks. Yeah. So if we scroll down, the Exorcist went down to 120.
Yes.
But you do have to pay for the Exorcist missile launcher.
Yeah.
And
Mortifiers.
Mortifiers 55, and the Immolator's down to 90.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool.
Yep.
But I think Repentia probably warranted going up.
Yep.
Secondaries wise for Sisters.
Yep.
Okay. Leap of Faith has had a complete rework.
Okay.
So now what happens is at the end of the battle round, you can discard 1 Miracle Dice, provided it's not one generated by a cherub, from your Miracle Dice pool, and you gain a number of victory points depending on the value of the Miracle Dice you dropped, and it's 12 VP maximum. So if you drop a 1, 2 or 3, you get 1 point.
Okay.
If you give them a 4 or 5, you get 2.
Okay.
And if you give the Emperor a 6 from your Miracle pool, you get 3 victory points.
That's pretty good.
So I think it's still great.
Yeah.
It's just not quite as uninteractive. Well, I guess it's still kind of uninteractive.
Here's the issue, right? At the end of each battle round.
Yeah.
So if you only ever roll 1, 2s or 3s.
Like you.
Yeah. Then you can only ever score 5 victory points.
Well, you see, I think building any way you can reroll Miracle Dice.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're playing an opponent that you don't need the 6s against. Yeah. And I think you'd be okay with it. Yeah. Because I think you generate quite a lot of Miracle Dice.
Yeah, because the most important ones are like those 9-inch charges. So keep your 4s and 5s. Yeah. And then just any 6, put it to one side and go, cool, I'll just ditch that at the end of the turn and just, each turn drop a 6 off. Yeah. And get 3 VPs.
Maybe even drop the Passion, the exploding 6s for the +1 to advance and charge. Yeah. That way you can use your 5s.
Yeah, to drop them off as well.
Yeah, 5 and a 3 maybe. It saves you might get some more points from Leap.
Yeah.
So there's some interesting thoughts there.
I like it.
Another change is Sacred Grounds. Yeah. So this one, you used to get 5 victory points if you completed the action on a no man's land territory. Yeah. Now you only get 4 victory points for that. And it's still 1 or more units can do the action. So it's not changed a huge amount, but it is a bit harder to get all your victory points.
That was too easy. Yeah. Max has given us a super chat, but Nightbot apparently has come in and said, stop spamming caps. Don't write your messages in all caps, but thank you so much for the super chat.
Yes.
Really appreciate
just
that.
Pop it again in the chat a bit later.
We'll
just
read it
not
out.
In caps.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Then Hawk's Nest is also given a super chat. Thank you very much. Christina said, with the Repentia going up, I think that secondary is dead personally. It was already on shaky ground. I think
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because Repentia, when they die, you get a miracle dice.
They do, yeah.
And they're probably one of the most guaranteed melee kills as well.
Yeah. I think 16 points a model, though, still good for what they can deliver.
It's still great, and they don't really get hurt much by losing armor and contempt.
No.
In fact, they get better.
Because AP4 just goes straight through.
Yeah, you don't even need to be Bloody Rose.
Yeah.
To like kill Marines, basically.
Yeah.
Also important to note on that, the Armored Lady thing is now out of date.
Yeah.
Likewise with the Death Watch Strike Force, that's out of date.
Yeah.
But the Bloody Rose one is still in.
Okay.
So you've got that stuff to work with.
How do we order some of these Arks of Omen? That's going to go on pre-order on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll put a link out to that at some point on our Facebook page and stuff like that, so you can get your orders in. Can you still take more than one faction secondary? Yes. You can. You still can do that. Yeah. Okay, Custodes up next.
Okay. Shall we talk about the balance Dataslate update?
Yes.
All right.
So the balance update, I think Custodes are... Should we keep our biggest winners and biggest losers till the end?
Let's keep that to the end.
All right, okay, cool. So I'm going to speak in a very neutral tone about the Custodes changes, so you don't get any hint of how I feel about Custodes. Mm-hmm. But basically now, their objective secured is now changed once again. All right?
Okay.
They no longer never ever get objective secured.
Right.
That's what you're expecting, wasn't it?
Nice.
Yeah, no.
Nice.
It's kind of a mid-ground. It used to be any infantry. Yeah. When the Codex came out, it was any infantry.
Yeah.
Now it's... Then they got rid of all infantry and it had to be just troops. Mm-hmm. Now it's infantry but not characters.
Good.
So Terminators, Wardens, Venatari have your objective secured back.
Good. Great change. Great change.
Now, there was a stratagem that you can only use on infantry. Mm-hmm. Or a couple, like the transhuman, the turn-off rerolls, that stuff, stayed the same.
Okay.
However, there was another bullet point which said you could only use it once per game.
Right.
That's deleted.
That's gone.
You use those stratagems as much as you want now.
And I think it's the same for the esteemed amalgam or whatever, the Emperor's Chosen be a different shield host.
Yeah.
So that you can use multiple times now, which is
very
good.
Very good. Yeah. Very good.
Very nice.
Now, points changes. All the Sisters of Silence have come down.
Good. They're my favourite units from the book. They look epic.
Yeah. So Prosecutors are 11, Vigilators are 12, Witch Seekers are 12.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome.
Let's look at their...
Secondaries?
Secondaries. I don't honestly think these have changed. Auric Mortalis is still the same requirements. I think maybe you can kill them in melee with an Anathema Psychana. That might be the difference. Okay. If it's not, it's not. Might of Terror is exactly the same. Yeah. No changes there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Very nice. So yeah, Custodes, you did pretty well out of this, I think. Assassins. Let me get their secondaries. You get the, cool. 90 points a model now. Whatever you want, 90 points. Yeah, 90 points is good. All your weapons, all free. Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. So they're basically down 10, they were 100. Yeah, nice. Astra Militarum, no changes here. What? I know. It's just the Codex. Okay, so before we jump into Astra Militarum, let's think about the Balanced Dataslate. Yeah. So they are not in the Balanced Dataslate. No, they're not in it at all. So that means you don't get your Armour of Contempt. You don't get your benefits to ignoring ballistic skill stuff. And you don't get any of those other things that they gave them. Yes, because a lot of it was rolled into the book anyway. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, it's kind of like what Games Workshop kind of did was they just treated you with little things that you're going to get. And now I know people are still raging that Guard are OP and broken and whatever. However, we've got to give it time to see how people adapt to the new Arks of Omen before we can really give a proper judgment. Yeah. I will say, though, of course, their secondaries are basically brand new. Yeah. Because their book didn't come with them. Okay. So we're just going to quickly run through the secondaries. Lasgun and Bayonet stayed the same as points for killing people on objectives. Okay. Boots on the Ground is the one that had to be changed because of the keyword interaction. Yeah. You now need to have a platoon infantry unit wholly within a quarter, but outside of 3 of any other of the centre of the battlefield. Okay. To score points for this. Right. That means your characters will no longer work for it. Okay. It means your command squad doesn't work for it either. Right. So that's a little bit harder to do now. Yeah. And you get a point for the regimental standard being in the middle because he's a beast. Inflexible command actually got easier. Okay. So you got to have your platoon infantry within 6 of an officer. You mean the one that was already auto 15? Yeah. It's now definitely auto 15 in probably about 3 turns. Right. So 2 points for being near officers with platoon infantry. 1 point for having squadron units within 12 of an officer. Yeah. and 2 victory points if you kill an enemy unit while under the effects of an order.
Right, which you're going to be doing.
Always going to be doing. Anyway, so and it's not capped, so you can get 5 points a turn with this.
Wow.
That's quite strong.
That's really strong.
That is a little bit, maybe too strong.
Maybe too strong. All right.
Yeah.
I'll give you that, yeah. Right.
Who's next?
Admech.
Right.
Now, they had loads of nerfs. They then had all their nerfs removed, and now they've got more bullet points. So in the last Dataslate, there was no Admech in there. There's Admech back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's happened?
So your destroyers and breaches are now gaining core. I like that change.
That's cool.
Because I like breaches. I think that's sick.
Yeah.
So then the next thing is basically your 6-up invulnerable save.
Yes.
That you get on like your Rangers, your Vanguard, your chickens, your destroyers, and your
other
breaches.
Stuff. Yeah, horses and stuff. Yeah.
No, not them.
Oh.
I think those ones we've just said.
Oh, okay.
Are gonna get a 5+ invulnerable save now.
Right.
So it's not all units; it's specific units. So it's
right. So
Rangers, Vanguard,
okay.
Destroyers, Breaches, Servitors, Iron Striders, and Dragoons. They gain a 5+ invulnerable save.
Servitors with a 5+ invulnerable save, unbelievable.
Broken.
What are GW thinking?
Yeah. Now, obviously, they're losing the cohort.
Yes.
No Skitarii cohort anymore. So,
it kind of makes up for it.
I don't like to think about 20 Rangers again.
With a 5-up in one.
Well, I don't like the sound of that at all. But we'll see how it plays out.
And I think with Armour of Contempt going, their shooting's a lot better from the infantry now.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I think we're definitely going to see them back in big units.
Yep. And then in terms of points, like, literally, most things have changed here. Call is 160, Marshal's 50, Dominus is 70, Engine Seer is 50, Manipulus is 70, Technologist is 50, Destroyers are 40, Plasma Culverins 5 points. The Rangers are 9 points, and then their weapons are 5. All of their abilities: Arc Rifle 5, Data Tetherer 5, Omnispecs 5, Plasma Culverin 5. The Rifle is 10, the Sniper. Vanguard basically the same. Corpuscari 12, Datasmith 35, Electro Priest 12, Infiltrators 17, Rustalk is 16. Patraxi 16, Cerberus Raiders Enhanced Data Tether is 5 points, but they're remaining at 18 points a model. Dragoons, Taser Lance is 5, so they're 55 points a model now. That's really good in total. The Robots are 85 points a model. Good. The Drone Callers 100. The Disintegrators 125. The Scorpius Dune Riders 85, and the planes remain the same.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Those are some significant points drops, but I do like some of the units like the Dune Crawler and the robots.
Yeah,
a bit better. Now secondaries.
Secondaries, go on.
Okay, so one of the ones that was terrible before.
Yeah.
Accretion of Knowledge. Now you get 3 victory points for each enemy model that is destroyed that meets one of the following criteria. A model that has a Warlord trait. Okay, a bit meh. Model has a relic. Again.
Okay.
Or a model has a vehicle keyword and a wounds characteristic of 8 or more.
Wow.
So you can get 3 points for killing a rhino.
That's good.
That's good.
That's really good.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
And then their Eradication of Flesh
Yeah.
is now 4 victory points if you kill more enemy units with vehicles, your own vehicles, than you lose of your own vehicle units.
Right.
That's quite good to get in 3 turns relatively easily.
Yeah.
So especially with everything going down in points.
Yeah.
That's a good secondary. And Hidden Archaeovault. This is the one where you pick an objective, okay, and you have to hold it at the end of your turn to get points.
Yeah.
5 victory points if you hold that objective. So your opponent, okay, chooses an objective marker on the field that is not in their deployment zone.
Right.
If you hold that objective marker at the end of your turn, you get 5 victory points.
Your opponent chooses?
Your opponent chooses.
On
Now,
missions?
If you think of the missions out there, if it's not in your deployment zone, I think Recover the Relics might be the only one you wouldn't take this on.
Yeah, definitely not Recover the Relics.
But most of the other ones, like, all you have to do is get this 3 turns in a row.
Yeah, fairly in the middle of the table or whatever, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, if you're going first, you just get some scouting horses.
Is it end of the battle round?
No, end of the turn.
Oh, wow.
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
So if you're an Admech player, or you played them at a certain point because they were really good,
yeah.
I think they're good again.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. You can chase back the meta.
Yeah.
If you chased it once, it's come back round, you can chase it once more.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, double meta chasing. Right, so what's next?
We've got Imperial Knights we can look at next.
Imperial Knights. Points-wise, no changes.
No changes. I don't think there's anything in the balance Dataslate for them either.
Nope.
And their secondaries have stayed exactly the same as far as I can tell.
Right.
And that's from the experience of playing against Knights a lot.
Yeah. So Knights, no changes. Cool.
No changes. I think it's important to recognise...
They're very good.
They're very good already.
And they just got a lot better with Armour Contempt going.
They got a lot better with Armour Contempt, and they can have even more command points.
Yeah.
Because of the secondaries.
Yes.
So, mind you, they don't tend to take the book secondaries, to be fair.
No.
But if they did, they'd get lots of command points.
Yeah. Okay, next up is the Inquisition. You still have to pay for your plasma gun on your acolytes.
Sorry, no secondaries for them. I don't think they've changed at all.
No. Right, Chaos Space Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos Space Marines.
Okay.
Abaddon is 350.
Right, is there a balanced Dataslate change for these?
Well, the only one that would be is one for the Iron Warriors.
Okay.
Which means you can't reroll your... You can now reroll your wound against them again.
Mm-hmm.
But you ignore -1 or -2 becomes -1, -1 becomes 0. So
right.
your pseudo armor contempt.
Okay.
And now Creation of the Bile, when they die, you have to roll a dice.
Okay.
On a 4-up, you fight on death.
You take a mortal wound. Are you still fighting death?
Yeah, I know. It's a shame, really.
Oh.
I was hoping it was going to be the same as Dark Harlequins, just to keep it the same.
Mm.
But no. They
Okay.
still fight on death, but on a 4-up.
Right.
So, Dom, it's only 50% of the time it's going to work every time. Okay?
Unless you just roll 4s, and then it makes no difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Dom.
Mm.
Right, anyway. Are we ready now?
I'm ready.
Points updates. Abaddon is 350. The Chaos Lord is 10 points for a Thunderhammer.
And then everything else is free.
Yeah. Any other changes? The Marcus Slanesh, this is a biggie.
Okay.
20 points. It's gone up 5.
Significant.
So that's going to really hurt your Emperor's Children units.
Yeah.
Unless you are taking Noise Marines, because obviously it's already baked into their keyword.
Yeah, and I don't think they went up. No.
No.
They've not changed at all, Noise Marines.
No.
I will say all of the characters that could have options, their options are now free.
Mm-hmm.
So your Chaos Lord and Terminator armor, 110 flat, free options. There is one very significant change.
Yes.
Legionaries.
Yeah, Legionaries now. Yeah, they all their stuff's free, apart from the Bell Tome. So you can basically take a heavy axe and a power fist and a chain cannon.
A Reaper chain cannon and
a
a melter
flame
gun.
all for free.
All for free.
Yeah.
And an icon.
Nice.
For free.
That's good.
Yeah, really, really good.
There's like some crazy cursed weapons in there as well, right?
Yeah.
Chaos Terminators. 36 points a model, but you still have to pay for your weapons.
Yes.
And that's probably because you have the Black Rune of Damnation.
Which now basically costs you pseudo points.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're going for the 5-up Fun of Pain, Marcus Slanesh is a bit harder.
Yeah.
Because you've got to pay for it not only on the Terminator squad, but also on a Psyker.
Yeah.
So that's a fair bit more expensive.
Yeah. It's like a 10-point increase plus your points increases from the Chaos Terminators.
Still
good.
It's still good. And you could have Transshipment on there as well. So they're still worth their points.
Yeah.
Even without Armour of Contempt.
Somebody's asked, have we spoken about Adeptus Mechanicus? Go back about 10 minutes and you'll probably hit the Adeptus Mechanicus section.
Yeah.
Chosen have stayed the same. Hellbrutes, Twin Lance Cannons 10, but all the other weapons are free. Master Executioner 65. Noise Marines have remained the same. Possessed are 28.
Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprised it didn't go up, but I guess losing Armour of Contempt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then basically the Defilers 175.
So I think all of the vehicles pretty much, except the Fiends, have had all their upgrades for free, all of their special weapons for free, except for las cannons.
Yeah, and the Defilers now 175.
Cool.
Looks like all weapons are free if you have to pay for them before.
Yeah.
Okay,
nice.
Cool. Any changes on their secondaries?
Yeah, there's a few significant little bits.
Because their secondaries weren't amazing before, were they?
No, they weren't.
While you go over those, I'm going to nip to the bathroom.
Okay, sounds good. So, Rise to Glory. This was where you get 3 victory points if you killed a character, monster, or vehicle with a traitor Astartes character. You now get an additional point if the wounds characters was 10 to 19 of that unit. Now, I think that's changed. And then you get 2 points if it was a Titanic, to a maximum of 5 per battle round. pretty good. It's okay if you're running characters. Other changes here. So the Long War is not capped at 3, it's capped at 4 now. So you could kill 2 units that are on objectives and take the objective, and you could get 4 points for it. It just makes the Long War a bit easier to get at least 12 points on, because you have 3 turns to do it, to get 12. Shadow operations for the Dark Gods has changed. You used to have to be within 3 inches to do the action of the centre of a table quarter. You now only have to be within 6 inches. And otherwise it hasn't changed, but it's a lot easier now within 6 inches. There haven't been any significant changes with the Legion-specific secondaries, and if there have, I may have missed them, but as far as I can see, there's no changes with the Legion-specific ones. The most potent one, though, I believe, was Creations of Bile, and that has stayed the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you keep scoring your points for basically nothing.
Yep. Now, chat, if you've got any questions, please let us know. Drop them in. Really great conversations, and great to see so many viewers here. We've got 235 viewers, but only 41 likes.
Oh.
So, guys, if you haven't done so, please like. It does really help us out. And also, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. We try and live stream every single week. We didn't live stream last night because, unfortunately, I've been suffering with a series of migraines, which had been quite brutal, actually. And unfortunately, yesterday I got hit with one. So, anyway, that is what it is. So normally every Wednesday we'll live stream. Mm-hmm. We've got an awesome piece of content coming out at 10 a.m. on Saturday as well.
Yep.
Bit of a Space Hulk themed.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. So yeah, if you do enjoy Competitive 40k, and also this year we're going to be bringing other game systems to the channel as well. So we really hope you enjoy those. So do make sure you subscribe. We try and have an emphasis on sportsmanship and fair play, and that's really at the heart of everything that we try and do here, which is why obviously this balanced data slate is so important to us. Mm-hmm. To make sure that we've got fun, interactive games. Okay, right.
There's a picture here, Steve.
Right.
Of a guy. He looks like he's made of like red stuff.
Yeah.
And he's wearing like goldish armour. He's got a big sword and a big axe.
Yeah.
And some wings.
Yeah, is it Dante?
He looks pretty angry.
It's Dante, isn't it?
I think maybe it's Dante.
Yeah. Dante.
He's very angry. I think he's too angry for Dante.
Is his name Angron?
His name's Angron.
Is he in the book?
He's in here. So the World Eater Secondaries, if you want to know what they are ahead of time, they are in the Arks of Omen book.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read them out.
What?
You want me to read them out? Okay, fine, Steve. I'll read them out for Steve. This one's for Steve, guys. Mm-hmm. Purge the enemy. Blood for the Blood God.
Blood for the Blood God.
End of the battle round, provided no World Eaters unit has fallen back this battle round.
You've got to paint all the models in Blood for the Blood God. No?
You could, yeah. No. You could, yeah.
Okay.
Score 2 victory points for each monster, character or vehicle unit that was destroyed by melee attacks. And score 1 victory point for every other unit that was destroyed by melee attacks, to a maximum of 4 per battle round.
Right.
Yeah, so don't fall back and kill things.
Cool. Got it.
Excellent.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that one.
The Blood God's Due is the next one. End of each player's turn, score 1 victory point for each objective marker on the battlefield that was drowned in blood that turn. For an objective marker to be drowned in blood, 1 or more units, excluding vehicles, obviously, that started the unit within range of that objective marker must have been destroyed that turn.
Right, cool.
So
nice, love it.
You get points if you kill people on objective markers.
Yeah, or if
1 or more units started that turn in that objective marker has been destroyed that turn. Okay, so if you kill 3 units on 3 different objective markers, you get 3 points.
Yeah, or what else?
What, this last one?
No, keep going. You have to kill, you could also die, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Look, Khorne does not care where blood's flowing.
Oh, it's at the end of each player's turn.
Yeah. So if I've got some cultists on an objective, or what they call...
And they get killed, yeah.
Jackals.
Jackals, I think it previously does, yeah.
If they die, cool, you give me a VP. Cheers.
That's actually hilarious.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I easily missed that. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, don't worry. Got you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Don't you worry. Yeah.
Okay, and then pile the skulls. Mm-hmm. At the end of each battle round, before purchase... I actually think it's very difficult to pile skulls.
They're quite round.
Yeah, anyway. Before purchasing any Blessings of the Blood God, see Codex World Eaters, you can discard 1, 2 or 3 blood tithe points. If you do so, you score 2 victory points for each blood tithe point.
Yeah.
To a maximum of 5 victory points per battle round.
Sick.
You
don't even know what that means.
Great, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's too good. It's too easy.
Yeah, that's broken.
Cool. Well, that's interesting.
Well, World Eaters are going to be certainly an army that I'm playing in 2023. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, we have like our pick and 3 factions. World Eaters for me is definitely going in there. Okay. I can't wait to play this army.
Well, I'm going to play World Eaters as well, Steve.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
It's in my contract. I'm not actually allowed to play armies that Steve plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only I can play the World Eaters. Okay.
Right. So, enough with the cool guys. Let's go on to some considerably less cool guys. Yeah. No offence, Death Guard Dave.
Yeah.
Death Guard.
Yeah, so Plague Marines now are... Basically, there's a lot of things that have stayed the same. But Plague Marines are 19 points each with all their weapons for free. The Putrefy is 60. The Blight Spawn's 80. Hellbrute has had the Hellbrute treatment from earlier. The Noxious Blight Breaker is 55, excuse me.
Oh, he's brought some Noxious Blights, yeah.
The Surgeon is 70 points. The Tallyman is 65. The Spawn is 21. The Blight Haulers 110. Okay, cool. Were they like 140 before or something?
I think so. There's a lot of considerable points drops here, but they have lost armor attempt, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Defilers 175, obviously. Cool. Masmic Malignifiers 65. Yeah. So yeah, quite a fair few points drops across the board there.
Anything in the balanced data slate for them?
Same as usual.
Okay. Nothing's changed.
No. Only obviously Death Guard Terminators are...
OBSEC, right. Okay, so they're still OBSEC. Right. Yeah. Okay. Good. In terms of their secondaries, I can't see anything that's changed, but I'm not a Death Guard expert, so you'll have to check that yourself, I'm afraid. But as far as I'm aware, I don't see any changes. No.
Okay, T-Sons.
All right.
Right.
Balanced data slate?
Nothing in there.
Nothing. Okay, they have lost armor attempt.
Did they have OBSEC on their Terminators?
I think they just have that in the book.
Oh, I thought that was a balance update.
I think that's what triggered the Death Guard getting it on theirs.
Oh, right, I see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're still getting it.
Yeah.
If so. No changes, though. You still got to pay for your Soul Reaper cannon and your Warp Flamers.
Okay.
Let's be honest, Thousand Suns are absolutely killing at the minute, so... Yeah, no real changes. The Zangor Shaman, 60 points.
The vehicles have changed just like the Chaos ones.
Yeah.
Spawn's 21 points now.
Magnus is still 420. I could have gone with Magnus going down a bit.
I'd have been happy with him going down a bit.
He's like maybe to 400. He's 420. Yeah. Same with maybe Morty. He's 450, maybe 425 for Morty.
Yeah, they're quite expensive, those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially with Armor Contempt going. Yeah. They're like really susceptible to AP1 stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, there's points for World Eaters in here, but the only thing is, the only points are Khan the Betrayer's 140.
Right.
And your Khorne Berserkers are 22 points a model.
And Angron is 200 points.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That seems fair. He's not in there.
Nothing else.
Joking. He's not in
there. They're the only things in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Just on the secondaries front.
Yeah.
So for Thousand Suns, I'm pretty sure nothing's changed. Literally nothing's changed. Their secondaries they didn't usually take from here. The main change here...
Well, they did that stupid...
is it's not here. That's the main change.
What?
Wrath of Magnus is not in the book. Every faction's been limited to 3 secondaries. I'm afraid Thousand Suns, that's the one you've lost, which is good because I think that secondary itself skewed a bit of the game.
Yeah.
When it came to picking your army, you're like... Oh, but there's lots of Thousand Suns, so I don't want to take a Psyker.
Like my Eldar army.
Like your Eldar
army. Like, why would I bother putting a faster in if I just give Thousand Suns a straight 15?
So, big hit. Thousand Suns losing that.
Cool. Like it.
Yeah.
Like it. I think that, obviously we're a bit brash sometimes with our comments, but it's all for the better of the game.
It is.
It really is. So, every army's going to win some, lose some. But it's all about creating a more interactive playing experience for everybody involved. People have also liked the button now, which is good. Yeah. We're still only at 78, guys, so you clearly either dislike the content, or you can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And that upsets me slightly. Just hit that like button.
Well, I can't be bothered, so I'm going to go.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we couldn't be bothered to do this? If we couldn't be bothered to do this, then you'd have to just continue with your leaks or something from people that, just leak it.
You'd have to one-drop your army. And...
Yeah. Anyway, let's not get into that. Because I'll probably get sued or something by someone.
Demons.
Obviously, we've gone over the Flamer change.
Yes, we've gone over the Warp Storm table potential issue.
Yeah.
But it does massively reward now running pure.
Pure demons. Stuff. Yeah. So the Khorne Exalted abilities, the Indomitable Onslaught, is now 50 points. I believe that's the wound cap on the Khorne.
Good.
Yeah. Because everybody took it.
It's the only one you took. It's a shame it didn't come with a slight decrease for Bloodthirsters inbuilt, but that is what it is.
Yeah. Karanak is 90. Scarbrand is 330.
Still. Yeah.
So Blood Crushers are 40.
Okay, 5 points down each.
Fleshhounds 15.
Okay, so decreased, yeah.
Skull Reaper Cannon is 90.
Okay, cool.
From the Tzeentch, you're looking at Fate Skimmers 150. Don't know if that's up or down.
So it's up 10 points.
Cool. Lord of Change 310.
I think up 10 points as well, I believe.
Okay. The Master Mutators 35.
Also, I believe up 10 points.
Pink Horrors 140.
Down 10 points.
Down 10, okay, cool. That's good. I like to see their little things come down. Yeah,
exactly.
Screamers 25 points a model.
Down 5 points. That's good. I like that.
Nurgle, the Great and Clean ones, 280.
Okay.
Sounds pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Rotigus is 300.
Yeah, they've gone down a fair bit, those two.
Yeah, Plague Bearers 130. It seems like a good decrease.
Yeah, nice.
Beasts are 70.
Yeah.
Plague Drones 40.
Okay, good decreases there for Nurgle.
Yeah, nice. Slanesh. Celesky the Vengeful is 180.
Okay.
Fiends are 30 points a model.
That's quite cheap for what Fiends do.
Seekers are 17.
Okay.
So some minor adjustments there. Cool.
No changes with Be'lakor, the Demon Prince, or Soul Grinders. There is one very important thing I do have to mention here.
What's that?
We've talked about the Allied Patrol.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the part in the book for Chaos Demons still stands. If you want your demons in that Allied Patrol to be agents of chaos, they still have to only make up 25% of your force.
Yeah.
And you can't have Be'lakor in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
If they're not got the Agents of Chaos keyword, you're not going to get your secondaries.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. So you just got to be very aware of that. You could, if you wanted now, actually run an Allied Patrol of more than 25%. But you'd be giving up on that Agents of Chaos keyword.
Yes.
And I think you could probably also now put Be'lakor in that patrol if you wanted to run Be'lakor with specific stuff. I think you might well be able to run Be'lakor with Thousand Suns and the other units, the other factions, because he does have all of the god keywords.
Right, yeah.
But he wouldn't be Agents of Chaos.
That's cool.
So you'd still lose a bunch of stuff if you wanted to take him.
Yeah.
But at least you can take him, right?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, all right, nice. All right, yeah, I like it. Chaos Knights.
Okay.
No changes on the balance data slate and no points changes.
Oh, we've already covered the flamer change, didn't we? In the balance data slate, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes, we did that first. Okay.
So Chaos Knights, no changes. Points,
no changes.
Balance update.
Secondaries. So they lost fitting thing where they kill high expensive units. It is a shame. I don't think the other ones are. Yes. So their action one is now 4 victory points each time they do it.
What was it before?
3.
That's good.
So this is better. I think Chaos Knights did struggle with the secondaries a bit.
Yeah.
So this buff will help them, and of course the War Dogs getting points for the other secondaries as well. Yes. So if I've missed what secondaries unit factions have lost, then I apologise, but you'll notice I won't have mentioned them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So someone said, how do we order it? We can pre-order the book on Saturday. Okay. Right, so Asuryani and Enathorate?
Hopefully they've all gone up in points, because they're Eldar.
Don't be daft. So, here we go. Balanced data slate changes on Eldar. Everything is pretty much the same, aside from one change.
Okay.
And that's going to be, you can now battle focus more than once, so the restriction from that's gone.
Okay.
So it used to be once per game, now you can battle focus as much as you possibly like.
That's good, yeah. I don't think they can abuse it with the new CP generation from secondaries because their troops aren't very good.
Yeah.
So...
My Guardians, mate, are going to be getting all the kills.
Yes. Well, it would have been nice to see a drop in points for Guardians, but...
All weapons for free?
All weapons for free, yeah.
But, so, Asuryani, they've got a couple of points changes. I think they've got 4.
Okay.
They've got 4 points. No, actually, a little bit more than that. About 5 or 6. So the Farseer is up 10 points, I believe. He's now 105.
Okay.
And the Farseer Skyrunner's 135. So I think the Farseers are up 10.
Yeah, so stop spamming Farseers.
Warlock's up 5. Yeah?
Yeah.
Shroud Runners are 30 points a model. So now for a unit of 3, this is...
90 points.
90 points, yeah.
Ooh, that is tasty.
Swooping Hawks, 25 points a model. That's a lot.
Have they gone up now? Is that up? I think that's up.
I'm not sure. I
I
mean...
think they might have been 22 or 23 or something.
Yeah.
125 points for 5 of them. I mean, I'm glad they went up because I hate the uninteractivity. However, I'd have preferred a balanced data slate that said they can only do that disappear and turn up from Deep Strike once per game.
Yeah.
And then I think they can be cheaper.
So swooping Hawks are on here
20 points? Wow.
They've gone up 5 points a model.
5 points a model. That's significant.
Which is interesting because Armour of Contempt doesn't change their output.
No, because they don't have AP.
They were okay at Armour of Contempt because AP0 was as good as AP1.
Yes, you might not see them as much as you see something like... I think Dire Avengers are a big winner with Armour of Contempt going.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, all of your Shuriken weapons are big winners now because they're all base AP1.
Yeah.
Shuriken cannons, much better now.
Dark Reapers 135. So they've down like 15 points.
Good.
But Dark Reapers can't battle focus.
Okay.
So...
Cool. Well, at least you can fire and fade every turn.
Great for 2 CPs. On a unit that does diddly squit. Now, Dark Reapers, if you took the custom where you ignore cover, are actually okay.
Okay.
But
all right,
that's like a real shooty build to make Dark Reapers work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's about all the changes, really.
Well, Brigade went up to 100 points instead of being 80. I think that's to counteract the free strategic reserves.
Right, yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense it's gone up a bit.
Fair enough.
Secondaries-wise, now, I don't believe any of this has changed. Although Scry Futures, didn't that used to go up in cast?
Maybe.
Each time you did it. There's nothing about that here now. And it's 3 victory points each time you do it. Scout the enemy, I think, has stayed the same. Still benefit from
Wrath
Rangers
of Cain's still the same.
Wrath of Cain's the same, so no changes for Asuryani.
Okay, cool. Oh, they've lost the secondary, though.
They have, yes.
They've lost the one where you've got to, like, defend the webway gate.
Oh, yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, because I don't think that was very interactive when you had a webway gate.
Cool. All right, then. Harlequins up next.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Balanced data slate first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that one. Harlequin players, look.
Well, they got some love, didn't they? 'Cause some stuff's not in here.
Yeah. For Harlequins, as you well know, if you're a fan of the channel, you know I love my Harlequins. The luck rolls remain the same at 0.
Okay.
So you start with 0, okay? Light is still the same. You've got to be 18 inches away for the, can't be hit on a 1 to 3 to kick in.
Good.
You can only... Moving and advancing doesn't actually work on your troops that are embarked.
Right, okay.
Only the vehicles themselves or the bikes.
Fight on death is still just a mortal wound. I would have liked to see that go the bile way, the new bile way.
I agree. I agree, because I don't think a mortal wound is really significant enough for them. But anyway, then here's the big one.
Okay.
There's a couple of things that have been removed. So before you could take like the Harvester of Torment, where you could like turn a dice to a 6 on the Death Jester that got nuked.
Okay.
That's back. You can take that.
Okay.
The one where you've got like the Aura, where it got changed to like command ability, pick a unit.
Right.
Right. That's back. So you can have your whole army counting is 6 inches away.
Okay.
Further from your opponent.
Yeah.
Right. But you do have to pay significantly for those.
I was about to say there is a cost.
Okay, there's a huge cost to those.
Implied.
So the Harvester of Torment is 40 points on that Death Jester, and the Mirror Architect is 60 points on that Shadow Seer. Now, I don't even want to say it because it's like it's real when I say this. Invulnerable saves are worsened by 1 for all Harlequin units. So across the board, you're going to get a 4+ invulnerable save unless you're a solitaire, and then rather than the 3 up, you get a 4 up. So you're not getting a 4 up, you're getting a 5 up now. Every Harlequin reduced the invuln by 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Prismatic Blur, instead of giving you a 3 up invuln, that's also reduced by 1 as well. Ouch.
Ouchie.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Big ouch.
Do I think this is going to be significant?
So you have your take, and I'll have my take.
It sounds, I think, worse than it is, right? Because I think the bikes, I would have loved to it just been on the vehicles.
Agreed.
But I think now the Harlequin player can't just be arrogant. They can't just stand out in the open and go, cool, well, I don't really care if you shoot me because I got a 4-up invuln save. They now actually need to use cover, right? So the vehicle now can't just stand out in the open and shoot. It has to pick and choose its targets, which Harlequins kind of want to do that. If you're using 5 troop units or 5-man troop unit to go and kill something, then enough shots kills it on a 4-up or a 5-up, so actually it's irrelevant. It's big on Void Weavers, and it is more significant on the transports. Yeah. So you're going to get less shooting output from the boats, because you'll need to sort of play a little bit cagier with them. But you can still do loads of mortals in the psychic phase, shooting phase, and also the combat phase. Yeah. The secondaries assassinate behind enemy lines. You're going to be gaining a lot of CPs. I would say behind enemy lines, you're going to gain a CP every single turn. Right, so you can pretty much get... If I said to you, cool, you're worsening your invuln save by 1, but have an extra 5 CPs. Yeah. That's not bad. No. Have an extra 5 CPs across the game is pretty cool, because that means you can fire and fade every turn as well. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a buff. Yeah. So before we jump into their secondaries, which have changed a little. Okay. Armor Contempt makes them better at killing Marines or anything that had Armor Contempt. Shurikens, so AP2 is now, you know, and all of their bikes, guns are better. Yeah. However, people are going to now start taking rate of fire weapons. Yeah. Because Armor Contempt's gone. Yeah. I think that is going to adversely affect the Harlequins now. Yeah. You know, things like Flamers might come back in. You know, aggressors, for example. Yeah. If we see more aggressors on the table, that's going to really hurt Quins. Yeah. Secondaries wise, unless you had a point on that front. No, but I think, like you said, yeah, they are. But you know, a unit of 100-point Harlequins can go in and wreck 5 aggressors still in combat. That is true. They got the strats for it. Yeah. Make everybody minus, you know, flat 3 damage, minus 2 AP, or minus 3 if you're dark, and you're picking up that unit of aggressors. So agreed. And they still trade well. Ignoring the invuln is now more impactful as well. Yeah. Because people have worse saves against you. Yeah. So that's quite cool. Yeah. That's quite cool. Secondaries. Yes. Right. So I'm not hugely familiar with Take Your Places, but I do know that Deadly Performance has taken a significant hit. Yeah. The units that have to be wholly within your opponent's deployment zone now have to be core. Cool. So your boats can't score you Deadly Performance anymore. Great. Yeah. Bikes and troops. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And then it's still 2 or more enemy units for shooting, or 2 or more enemy units with melee. Yeah. And you get 3 victory points if you do 2 or more. Yeah, cool. I think that, yeah, all right, nice. But I believe the other 2 have stayed the same. Weave Veil is cast on a 4. I don't know if that's changed. And you just choose an enemy unit with an 18 that's not been veiled. Yeah. The Warp Charge is increased by 1 each time you do it. Cool, yeah. That might be a change. Yeah, nice. And 3 victory points. And Take Your Place, I think, has stayed the same. Cool, all right then. So Harlequins, look, it sounds worse than I think it's going to be for you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It'll just take the edge off them slightly. Right, Drukhari next. All right. Drukhari balance Dataslate stay the same. Okay. Points changes, the Homunculus is 80, Witches are 10, Racks are 9. You're still paying for all your weapons, your Beastmaster's 35, and everything else has stayed the same. Okay. So Drukhari done. Let's be real, they got a lot better with Armor Contempt going. Yeah, and also every time they roll a 6 and they get additional AP and stuff. Yeah. In terms of their secondaries... Heard the Prey still there. Fear and Terror, take them alive. Yeah. Cool. They're all the ones that are still there. I don't think there's any... Significant changes. Heard the Prey is 1 victory point for each table quarter. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, then. So up next is Leagues of Votann. Okay. Leagues of Votann. Sorry, Jake, but your Carl, your Champion, and your Grimware are all up 10 points. So it's 90, 120, and 100. Uthar stayed the same, the Broken Iron Master stayed the same. Hearthkin Warriors are up to 13 points now, so that's a point per model, I believe. Yeah. Hearthguard, before someone makes that inevitable comment that I get sick of. It's not your fault. Deal with it. Words, people say them differently. Yeah. Right. 45 points per model. The Berserkers are 33 points. They've had a 3-point increase. Sagittar remain the same. Then we've got the Thunderkin of 36 points a model. Okay, so they've gone up. Right? Yeah. And then the Land Fortress is 310. Yeah, and I think that balances out with one of the war gear options being cheaper. Like the Beamer or something. Okay, maybe. But the base cost is now 310. Well, beams are the best way to run the Votann, so I'd be shocked to see if that was
Yeah, because the main guns here don't cost anything, you see, because the main guns aren't actually listed. It's just the ion beamer itself that is in there.
Right, let's have a quick look here. Leagues of Votann, because a lot of people are running the Land Fortress.
And I know there's a lot of, run a patrol of Votann with whatever.
No, they're already free. The big guns are free anyway.
Okay.
And the 2 iron beamers are 10 points.
Right, okay.
But so this is iron beam, so a 5 points. So 2 iron beams is still
10 points.
So it's a 10-point increase.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. The scanner is all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So it's basically up 10.
Yeah.
All right.
No other changes for them points wise. They're not in the balance deck slate, are they? But they're not in the balance deck slate, are they?
No.
I don't think they are. No.
No.
Okay. Secondary wise, we've lost Grudge Match.
Ooh.
Which is the one where you pick the 5 units and you
get
get points for killing them in melee, and if they're 150 points, etc., etc. I think the other ones have stayed the same.
I would assume so.
Yes, yeah. I'm looking at them now. They are pretty much the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, they're all the same.
Right, we're heading on now to Necrons. We'll skip those.
Nobody cares about Necrons.
We're joking, Mandy. We know you care about Necrons. We'll do this for you, Mandy. We know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the biggest change here is that Necrons, if in the balanced data slate, all OBSEC is now all-consuming. So you can't get your pre-game move and your OBSEC. It's one or t'other.
Yeah.
Basically.
So answering that super chat from earlier, I think that does open up different builds. I think there is a named dynasty that is OBSEC. So you might take that in order just to get the other buff from it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely worth looking at that.
Yeah. Now, in terms of points changes, Warriors are 11 points each.
Nice, cheaper. That's good. Yeah.
Death Marks are 13.
Cool, they're cheaper.
Triarch Stalkers 110.
All right.
Platoon Blades are 18.
I don't think they needed to go down, but they have.
Triarch Praetorians are 20.
Good. Yeah.
Doomsday Ark is 145. Ghost Ark is 115.
Your favourite?
The Monolith is 270. The Obelisk is 270.
Cool.
Tesseract Vault is 360.
Okay.
And the Convergence of Dominion is 80 points. So a few points drops.
Okay. Like in the balance update, it's just that OBSEC thing, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
But they've kept everything else that's in here?
I think so.
Just double check. Yes, they've kept all this stuff about the
core and whatever.
Dynastic codes and things.
Yeah.
Okay, secondaries. Because this is where they were really hurting the game.
Yeah.
The action secondary.
Yep.
They still get 4 victory points each time they do the action.
Okay.
That they control.
Yeah.
On an objective that they control. So that hasn't changed.
Okay.
So it's still bonkers good.
Right.
But you don't get the scout move and then OBSEC.
It's a little bit harder to get.
It's a little bit harder, yeah. Then we've got, should also mention, it's core infantry, core biker, and canoptech units. So that is actually a bit of a change. Characters can't do it.
Tomb Blades are still good though, aren't they, for that?
Yeah.
Tomb Blades are so good.
Tomb Blades, and they're cheaper now.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Purge the Vermin is still here.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed except that you can't score the objective in the first battle round.
Cool. Perfect.
Which is great. Limits it a bit, right?
That's good.
Code of Combat's gone.
Right. Great.
That definitely opens up different builds because Silent King was your go-to for Code of Combat. So now you don't have to rely on him for one of your secondaries. You can look at other units.
Yeah, nice.
Treasures of Aeons, you now get slightly less victory points. So your opponent still picks the 3 objective markers.
Yeah.
You get 2 victory points if you hold 1.
Okay.
3 victory points if you hold 2. And 4 victory points if you hold 3 of them, instead of getting 5.
And when do you have to hold this?
So it's at the end of your turn.
Oh, that's still good though,
It's still fantastic.
Yeah.
To be honest, the main significant change here is Code of Combat's gone.
Yeah.
And Purge of Vermin you can't score on your first turn. So
yeah,
different builds there available for Necrons.
So Mandy D has said, she's actually super chatted as well. Thank you so much, Mandy. Did Necrons get covered yet? It's weird because I was like talking about we will skip them, and I didn't realise you'd super chatted, Mandy. We've just covered them. That glass looks empty. Hydrate Steve. Yeah, I mean, I've had this whole glass and other drinks, but I do need to probably get a refill soon. We've had Leagues of Votann. We've already covered those, so you don't need to go back very far. If you've just joined us, then welcome. I'm Stephen, this is Mike, and Seb's behind the deck, and we're from Vanguard Tactics, and our mission is to basically help you increase your performance at the game of Warhammer 40k whilst keeping sportsmanship and fair play at the heart of everything that we do. So yeah, if you're here and you're new, please do subscribe and give the show a like. Okay, so up next is the Orks.
Right, okay.
Orks, no changes in the balance data slate.
All
right.
I think they're all right.
They're actually doing all right.
I mean, Brian.
Doing great.
He's doing fantastically with them.
Big shout out to Brian. What a ledge. Now, there are some subtle point differences. Mainly on like the weapons. So like kill saws that look like they're 5, combi scorchers, combi rockets, power claws look like they're all 5 points.
Right. But the big chopper on a knob is free.
Your big chopper on your knob is free?
So if you want to take loads of knobs with big choppers...
I love a big chopper.
Then you do it because
it's
that's
free.
Tasty. You know, getting free upgrades for your knob is excellent. Boys, I think some of their stuff went down. So rocket launchers and combi weapons.
All look like they're 5 points.
For me, I think, did anything else get free upgrades? Just looking through, I can't see anything that's got free upgrades in here. However, one of my favourite units, the killer cannons.
30 points.
30 points each.
And 10 points for a rocket.
That's a 10-point decrease. That's significant. And then I believe the Titanic ones, the Gorkanaut and Morganaut, went down as well.
Yeah. All right, nice.
Right, secondaries. So
they've got something good. They've got green tide. They got the good bits.
They lost the biggest and the baddest. So sorry, Gaz.
Ooh,
Gaz can't score you all your points. It is a shame. I really like that one. I thought it was really, really flavoursome. It's just a shame that more than one of your characters can't do it. I think that would have been a good balancer. I don't think there's really many significant changes. The green tide, you have to be more than 3 from other table quarters.
What was it before, 6?
I think it didn't have a limit before, so it was a bit easier.
Yeah.
And then good bits. Hold on now. This is 4 victory points.
You what?
So it used to be 3.
Right.
End of your movement phase, 1 or more Ork core units can perform the action.
Yeah.
And it's finished. It's only finished at the end of your turn if it's a Looters or Gretchen unit performing it.
Okay.
But you get 4 victory points each time you complete it, to a maximum of 6 per battle round. So turn 1, if you get 2 Gretchen units in range of 2 different objective markers in No Man's Land, you get 12 points.
Well, no, to a maximum of 6 per battle
Sorry,
round.
6, and then if you do it round 2, you get
12.
Yeah.
So you do it twice, you get 12.
You could 2-turn 12 victory points, essentially. That's incredibly strong. I don't think that needed a buff.
Yeah.
That was good anyway. But I think that sums up Orks.
Yeah.
I think they're a big winner because Armour Contempt's gone. So their choppers are much more relevant now.
Yeah. Right. Tau.
Okay.
Hey, talking about Tau.
Yeah. Oh well.
Should we bother?
All right. Let's do it. Let's do it for Dave. Not for Kyle.
No.
In spite of Kyle.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
And certainly not for Chris. Right. So here we go.
Balanced data slate. Any changes for Tau? Beyond, obviously, their bombers having significant...
No changes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Good. Right, cool. I could have saw core coming back on broadsides, maybe.
I would like some way of making crisis suits less lethal.
The take. Yeah. But there we go.
There we go.
There we have it. Right, so here we go then. Points changes. Cold Stars 120.
Okay.
Valid. He is making crisis suits ridiculously fast.
He is, yes.
Especially on, like, in the UKTC terrain. You can just touch cover to cover, open it up, shoot it.
Yeah.
And it's...
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's like a one and done kind of combo. Crisis Suit 110, he's the guy that gives you fallback and shoot, right?
Yeah, and ignore modifiers to hit.
That's really strong for both of those aspects. Enforcers 130.
Yeah, he's the OBSEC one.
Yeah, plus your weapons. So I think, like, if we think about like a chapter master, they're like 165 on average. And I would say a commander's equivocal to what they give you.
Yeah, probably significantly better.
Yeah.
Just because they shoot things.
Yeah, you get more turns. You get more turns out of them.
Yeah.
And if you went for like a just kind of one of each kind of gun, you're probably looking at about 160 for those points. So I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Ethereal's 90. Don't know if that's up or down. I don't know.
Maybe up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Breaches, everything the same. Crude Carnivore, 7 points.
They're up a point each?
Is that going to break it? No.
Well, what if I wanted to run 273 Crude?
You can't maybe do that.
I'll have to run 250 instead.
Cool. So, the Crisis Battlesuit is now 45 points per model.
So I think that's up 5.
Okay. But the shield drone is still... Sorry, the shield generator is still 5 points.
Yeah, and the target lock's free. It ignores cover.
And that's huge, target lock, being free still. I'd have rather them...
I would have preferred to see target lock go up 5 points, and the shield generator to go up 5 points. So the shield was 10, the target lock, maybe even make the target lock 10 as well.
But then keep the Crisis at 40.
But keep them at 40.
Yeah. So if you want the extra survivability, you've got to pay for it, but then keep the base cost cheaper. But there we have it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have it all.
Can't have everything. Yeah.
Crisis Battlesuit, Bodyguard's also 45.
Okay.
No other changes there. And yeah.
So quickly scroll up to the Crisis Suits. Just want to double check something. No changes there.
I think...
Yeah, cool.
No, that's it. Cool.
Okay, well, let's have a look at their secondaries. We have Decisive Action, A Clean Victory, and Aerospace Targeting Relays.
Yep.
Did they lose one there? Or did they only have 3? Let's have a quick check. I feel like they had 4 secondaries.
Yeah, the planes remain the same. Obviously, planes have had a bit of a change with the way the rules are working for them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think if we take the typical Tau build, right, the Riptide didn't change.
No.
So the triple Riptide list is still very viable. You've lost, on a unit of Crisis, people were taking probably around 10 Crisis averagely. So that's 50 points.
Yeah.
And then your crew, well, you don't need to take crew anymore.
No.
There's no compulsory need to take them. No. So you don't need 2 units or whatever. You can just take 1 if you want a bit of pre-game screen or something. Yeah. So you just drop some crew, whatever.
Secondaries haven't changed at all.
Secondaries haven't changed. Okay, cool. All right, nice. So up next, Tyranids.
All right.
Tyranids. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, there are 2 changes to the balance update. One of them is...
I think they're both very significant.
Yes.
And I like both of them.
I mean, the chat's going mad. They're talking about Tau. Hang on a second. Right.
Oh, right, okay. Tau need new Vespid models and maybe more allied race units.
Okay.
Absolute joke, the price of Crisis Suits compared to 40-point Plasma Inceptors. We don't need to have that argument, I don't think. But I think that's absolutely fine. I think you're massively overreacting there.
Yeah, Chris.
A Plasma Inceptor...
Overreacting?
A Plasma Inceptor's nowhere near as good as a Crisis Suit.
No.
Like, they're not even comparable.
Yeah.
Right?
Well...
Your random shots, unless you're shooting blast stuff... I know I said I wouldn't have this argument, but...
You're having the argument, aren't you?
You blow up on ones and instantly die.
No, okay, so I'm going to be honest, right?
Yeah.
I think Plasma Inceptors are too cheap at 40 points a model.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I think 45.
45 is
for the Plasma Inceptor.
For the Plasma Inceptor.
I think 40 points for a regular Inceptor is probably okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the bolts should be cheaper, so I agree with you on that. But I don't think we can compare Crisis Suits and Plasma Inceptors.
Like, we have just gone...
Yeah.
Plasma Inceptors are amazing at 200 points.
Yeah.
So are they probably undercosted? Maybe?
Maybe.
So therefore, like we said, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with Chris that it necessarily needs to be too different, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
I'd have rather see the shield generator, because we know the 4+ invulnerable save is so strong. We've just seen it being removed from Harlequins.
Yeah.
I would have rather people pay 10 points a model for a shield gen rather than 5.
Yep.
And kept the base cost at 40.
Yeah.
That's what I'd have preferred.
And I think 10 for the target lock as well, because with Armory Contempt gone, like spamming burst cannons now is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, if it was a 1v1 and it was 1 Plasma Inceptor versus 1 tooled up Crisis Suit, or maybe 2 Inceptors versus 1 tooled up Crisis Suit.
Yeah.
My money's still on the Crisis Suit.
Yeah. Suppose you've got a shield generator and
kicking around. 1 shot and it kills an Inceptor.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see how the meta shakes out, right?
Yeah. Anyway, always good discussions.
Yeah.
Tyranids. So big change on the balance update. Okay. So One of them, I actually love both the changes.
I think they're fantastic.
I think, that everything's remained the same as what you currently know, but then there's two significant paragraphs here.
Yep.
One of them is that only Hive Tendril core units can use the overrun stratagem now.
Good.
So no more Hive Tyrant moving 18, killing you and moving back.
Good.
If he comes out, he's got to stay out, and I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
I will get you, Mr. Hive Tyrant, if you come out. Just so you know, yeah? Well, my death company, they're going to get you. All right? And then the next one is basically spore mines, right? You lose, it says delete the last sentence from the following ability: seed spore mine, cyst, spore cyst, whatever, from biovores, harpies, and spore cysts. If you want to shoot them or drop them, you got to pay for them. Yeah? Which I think is amazing, because they were just being spammed for days. They were uninteractive. Like, it's weird that you can just move them and go, cool, well, I'm going to target that character that's lookout surd behind a wall, but I don't care, just take some mortals and eat it.
Yeah.
No.
Like one little thing doing D3 mortal wounds.
I wouldn't even
for free.
I wouldn't even care if the rule was like the first unit has to take it.
Yeah. You
still need line of sight. I don't know, it just...
They should automatically blow up.
You can't do that. Anyway,
but at least you have to pay for them.
You've got to pay for it now. So you can have bonkers rules, but you've got to pay for it.
So I played this list, I think, at one of the Unconquerable events. And it was the Sporicist.
Yeah.
And it would spawn 6 every turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's already 60 points every turn.
Yeah.
All right. I think it was 1 or 2 harpies. So 1 harpy, and that would spawn on average 4.
Yeah.
So that's 100 points a turn.
Yeah.
And then 3 biovores for another average 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 160 points a turn of spore mines being thrown at someone.
Yeah. And each of those, like, D3 mortal wounds, averagely?
On average, probably 2 per, depending on your rolls for the unit. But yeah.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting.
So I'm glad that's changed now.
Have the points changed?
The Neurophrope is 110.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good.
The Old One Eye is 250.
Okay.
Turvagon 235.
Not happy about that, but okay.
Yeah, Big Mama, she's up.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Then Tyranid Warriors, the Winged Hive Tyrant is 230.
That's a significant increase.
Or was it 180 before or something?
I think it was 220 from the last balance update, and then it went up again to obviously 220.
Cool.
From the original book.
All right, cool. But the Reaper of Brithrax is still bonkers. Tyranid Warriors, the Barb Strangle is 10 points, the Bone Sword is 5, the Death Spit is 5, the Dual Bone Swords are 10. So they're basically now 40 points a model for...
45 for the normal loadout.
Right, okay.
Because of the Death Spitter.
Okay.
I think that's the right way of doing it.
Yeah.
The bodies themselves needed to go up, especially with the Leviathan nerf still in there, still active.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tyrannid Guard, 45 points a model.
Okay.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I don't know if it was necessary.
Everyone takes them, right?
Yeah, but that's because everybody takes a Hive Tyrant.
Right.
That's already gone up in points.
So basically what we're saying is drop the Winged Hive Tyrant and drop the Tyrant Guard and take someone else.
Just take a Turvagon.
Take some of the cool stuff. Venom Thropes, 40 points a model.
Yeah, they've gone up 5.
Zoanthropes, 70 points a model.
They've gone up 20 points each. Good.
Yeah.
Stop spamming mortal wounds.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
It's not cool.
It's not fun. Just take one unit.
Just to eat mortal wounds and can't do anything about it.
Here, would you like some more mortal wounds?
Oh, gobble, gobble, gobble. I'll eat those, thank you very much. Ravagers, 45 points a model.
Good.
And they're going to become ridiculous because their AP's crazy with Armour Contempt out of the way. They just go straight in and kill. I think they were doing that anyway with certain builds. Like you can get them as AP 5 or something crazy.
Biovores or Trigon? Trigon's gone up.
160.
Okay. So here's how you justify the Trigon and the Trigon Prime going up.
Yeah.
There is a stratagem to get another unit to arrive with them.
Okay.
But you have to put that unit in strat reserve.
And that's free.
And that's free now. That's the only way I could see that really justified those going up.
Yeah, but you can see what Games Workshop have done. We've looked at all the 3 different elements together and come up with a really good synopsis, I think. Or no, synopsis is not the right word, but it sounds funky and cool and makes me sound great. Okay.
You already sound great, Steve.
Thanks. So do you, Michael.
I love listening to your voice.
So, thanks, me too.
Hour after hour.
I love it too. I really do. Carnifex is a 125. Hive Guard, 55.
They went up, I think.
Yeah, they are broken, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
last edition.
We're still feeling the effects.
Yeah, look, Dark Reapers, okay? I'm still, anyway, we're still paying for those sins. Tyran effects is a 185.
Screamer Killers haven't gone up?
Okay. All right.
I'll take that.
You take that?
I'll take that.
All right then. Harpy, the Venom Cannon is now 30 points, the Heavy Venom Cannon.
So if taking 2 of them puts your Harpy at 235 points. Oof.
I'm not crying
and
about it.
And then you've got to pay for the Spore Mines as well.
I'm not crying about it.
And it can't even start on the board.
Yeah. Synaptic Enhancement is 15 points.
It should have always been that.
Okay.
So it gives a unit synapse, which is incredibly powerful.
That's really good, yeah. Right, the chat has gone mad. Right, okay. Damn, these updates not touch Forge World units, my malice. Mandy, for you, I'll look at the Forge World rules.
Jump to the Forge World real quick.
Just for Mandy, okay? Okay, Mandy, here we go, Mandy. The
Tyranids have
stayed the same.
Stayed the same. I think there were a couple changes for Necrons. I think their centipede things are cheaper.
Okay, somebody's asked me, hey guys, late to the stream, how badly do we see Quins dropping off? I think the immediate reaction from a lot of the meta chaser Harlequin players will drop them off. Mm-hmm. But I think the true Harlequin players will continually do well with Harlequins, is my belief.
Mm. I think they're on a net slightly negative.
Yeah.
Because they've gained a lot from Army Tempt going, and they've got some of their amazing abilities back, even though they're more expensive.
Yep.
But they have lost a bit with the secondary and a bit with the...
In the hands of a good player, Harlequins are going to be just fine.
To be honest, if I've played a good player with Harlequins, I barely got to shoot at the Harlequins anyway.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. If a Harlequin player is good, you're going to do fine. If you're not good, then you're going to be... Like, you just... What I mean by that is...
If you're not... Yeah.
You can't just put your army out in the open and survive.
Yeah.
You have to use terrain, you have to use movement, you have to charge, you have to pile in, you have to remove the right model. You have to actually play the game a little bit more than just go, cool, I've got all these boats and I've got a 4-up and you can't hit me on a 1, 2 or 3, so whatever, dude.
Yeah.
And I failed a save, I'll just luck dice that, I passed it.
Yeah.
No, that's not going to be the case anymore. So I actually really like that. I think the interactiveness of that is going to be much, much better.
I agree.
Greenblood Crusade has been a member for 4 months. Been looking forward to this. Thanks for the input. Look, no worries at all. Like we said, we've seen so many leaks and rumours in just people kind of talking about the most random stuff. And I've had to bite my tongue so hard seeing all these things. And I've just said, look, wait for our review. We'll give you everything you need to know. And yeah, hopefully giving you something that's really impactful and of value. And that's all we try to do here. Okay. So, and we're going to have loads of members' content as well over the next few months in how this all kind of shapes out. Yeah. So next week we'll be picking up members' content once more with some really good interactive, how this is actually going to shape the meta, okay? Yeah. How we're looking to prepare for LVO, all those different things. Obviously, we need to know what LVO are going to do about this. Yeah. Is the LVO going to be running new points?
Is it going to run the balance Dataslate and the points?
Is it going to run the new missions and secondaries? Is it going to run the new detachment? I think after looking at all this, I don't think the secondaries and missions are like, oh my God, I've got to learn all this new stuff. If anything, it's simpler. Yeah. And I think there's some subtle tweaks to the missions in which are fine because they're the same. Yeah. The detachment might make things a little bit interesting from a list composition perspective.
Yeah, I think the only issue for me is if they run the new secondaries. There's a lot of secondaries that have been tweaked very slightly, so it might be an extra point here or there, and I feel like people might not be able to keep track of that. Yeah. And you know, that kind of thing.
I think, I mean, as a Blood Angel player, I'd only have 1 secondary rather than 4.
That's true, yeah.
So, again, it's still on me to know my rules.
Yes.
To make sure that I read this. To read through my 1 secondary, you know, I don't know. I don't think that's too much of a change. The points, I think it'd be great to see the new points. I'd love to use it all new, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd love to as well.
I'd love to see what is the biggest tournament in the world use all the new things.
It's nice to see everything at play.
Yeah, because like, in terms of, it's kind of a bit of a different debate, I suppose, but if we look at like Flamers, right? Flamers at the moment, pre-changes are busted. But they're still pretty busted with just... If they just use the points changes, right, and not the balance update, flames are still busted.
Yeah.
If we use the balance update, they get slightly worse because they now have to roll to hit. If they use the new Arks of Detachment, they're now fine because you have to take a patrol detachment of them. You can't put them in Emperor's Children. So just, I mean, like, in order to get the full, well-rounded, embodied balance,
agreed.
You need all three.
I think the Arks of Omen thing does impact the rest of the changes more significantly than people realise. So 100% agree.
We've got here Stash Ravens, a shout out to the new VT Academy 2023 cohort. I'm already enjoying it and looking forward to the rest. I'm Scott P in the class. Awesome to see you, Scott. Thanks so much. Really appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the academy. Obviously, we're going to be doing a quiz the coach tomorrow for all of our students. So I'll be diving a little bit deeper on a Zoom call, answering any questions about this because I can finally talk about it. Obviously, you have to rearrange your secondaries. You'll pick your secondaries.
Sorry if anyone was waiting for pick your secondaries. Obviously, this just dropped a bit impromptu. So I'll try and do that tomorrow, but I'll let you know.
And obviously a lot of the secondaries are going to change and stuff, but we will be updating all the academy content with the new missions and secondaries where we need to. Okay, so where those significant changes are in your academy content, that will be updated over the next kind of couple of weeks now.
For free, of course.
Okay, cool. So after that,
just quickly, their secondaries haven't really changed.
Okay, cool.
I think there's a slight thing with feeder tendrils in cranial feasting that's a bit harder to do now.
Okay.
But otherwise hasn't really changed.
Right, we're at the last sprint now.
Literally the last one, I think.
Last leg.
Yeah.
Or last arm.
Or third or fourth arm.
Yeah. We're talking about Seb now.
Well, he's one of them.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
I know. The Genestealer Cult. Okay, so balance update, nothing?
No.
Seb's crying right now. Yeah. Sorry, Seb.
He's resting his
head
on
because
his
he's so good at pressing all the buttons.
Arm.
Yeah. So you see how he got me a drink earlier? You lot didn't even notice.
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks, Seb, for the drink. And I've already drank that, Mandy. See? Right. Acolyte Icon Ward 65 points. Primus 70 points. Acolyte Hybrid. The Cult Icons 10. 2 Demolition Charges are 5. Heavy Roxor 5. Heavy Roxor 5 points.
Okay.
That's a 14-point weapon of mass destruction, that is. Neophytes are 6 points a model, but the Cult Icon's 10. Aberrants are 27 points a model.
Okay.
Abominant is 85 a model.
Nice.
Clamavus is 45.
Okay.
Basically all Cult Icons are 10 points. The Locus is 45. The Reductus Saboteur is 70. The Jackals are 15 points a model, so I think they've gone up
3 each.
Yeah, and the Wolf Quad's 30 and the Mining Laser's 5. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And it's only the Mining Laser is the option for it. Their secondaries, Brood Swarm is exactly the same, so you just be Genestealer Cult and all over the board.
Yeah.
Get points if you kill enemy units from, they have Crossfire, that thing I believe has stayed the same. Again, not super knowledgeable on Genestealer Cult. And they've got a Sabotage one as well. So I don't think there's any huge changes there. But that is Genestealer Cult. I will address one thing people were asking about.
Yeah.
People were very unhappy that Genestealer Cult got restricted from the stratagem that lets you take more than one of a thing that you're...
Right.
Once per detachment thing.
Yeah.
Now, I think the main reason for this is because it lets you use 2 of that unit instead. But you could... It's not like... what's the word? So if Genestealer Cult can take multiple characters but only once. If you could use the stratagem on Genestealer Cult, they could take all of those characters again. It's not like one stratagem, one model.
Yeah.
Anything in the book that is once per detachment, if you spend this stratagem, you can take another of any of the units that are once per detachment in your army.
Right.
So they had to avoid, obviously, 1CP unlocking literally millions of extra characters.
Yeah.
So it is a shame, but at least you get those free elites character slots. It's pretty cool. And up to 9 troop slots, or 12 potentially. Right.
Somebody said, have we covered the FAQs? Sorry, Aaron said, have we hit up the new FAQs? So we've actually got a few questions to answer here.
Okay.
So all the FAQs have now been updated. We've got Dark Angels, basically says if every unit from your army has the Dark Angels keyword, the Dark Angels Ark of Omen Detachment, and a Vanguard detachment that only contain models in the Deathwing or Inner Circle. They gain the first company ability.
Okay.
All right. So you basically, if your Arks of Omen Detachment is still fully Deathwing, you get OBSEC.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's how that works.
That's going to be exactly the same with the Raven Guard there, Raven Wing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you can get +3 command points. Oh no, unless that is an Arks.
Yes, that's right, yeah. So in an Arks attachment, you're not going to get +3 for being Raven Wing.
Yeah.
You're going to get +3 for being Deathwing or Deathwing and stuff. I'm going to assume a lot of the FAQs are going to be along the same lines.
Yeah.
So what we got here for Eldari?
So the new one is when the Incarn is set up on the battlefield using the death, can it be engagement range of the last model? Yes. Additionally, any units that trigger upon death, e.g. exploding hits, units disembarking from transport or resolve prior to setting up the Incarn. Because basically there was a ruling, like, for example, we've always used it as the Incarn can set up anywhere.
Yeah.
So now then the UKTC had a ruling to say that you couldn't set up the Incarn in engagement range when something died of an enemy model.
Right.
So this is now clarifying that you still can.
So when you kill an enemy model, you can still turn up with the Incarn.
Yes, which is always the intent there.
Perfect.
So can a unit with the Swift Strike make a battle focus move and a turn it advance? Yes. Yeah, that's pretty cool because you basically not count as advancing.
Okay.
That's actually something to look at.
Yeah,
for
nice.
sure. If a unit with the Twilight Falls uses the it can move up to 8. Wow. Okay, nice.
Okay. If Baharoth is touching an enemy model when he consolidates, can he use his Cloud Stride ability? Yes.
Yes, he still can.
That's a shame. I always like little bits of technical plays where you can stop people doing that stuff, but fair enough. He's got wings. He can do what he wants.
Something here about Traitorous Lances.
Yeah, so basically, if you've got an Arks of Omen detachment, you're not going to get all the bonus CP that you'd normally get that would offset a super heavy detachment.
Okay, cool.
It just means basically you don't get 12 CP to begin with, which would be stupid, right?
Yeah. So all that kind of ridiculousness.
That kind of stuff's in there.
Yeah. Right, here is one about Leagues of Votann. If an enemy unit embarked on a transport destroys a Votann unit, does the embarked unit gain a judgment token? No.
Okay, well, they're not on the table, so I guess that makes sense, yeah.
And then also...
if a unit with an ability that enables it to move after making a ranged attack, so strike and fade or that kind of stuff, is a potential target for the reactive reprisal. So that's when you shoot a core unit and they shoot back at you. So you get to shoot back at them before they get to fire and fade. So if you target a Votann unit...
No, it says prior to the use.
Yeah, before. Yeah.
The attacking unit would be allowed to complete its move prior to the use of...
Oh, okay. So it's the opposite.
Yeah.
So you can fire and fade before your opponent can shoot you.
On death.
With the reprisal shots. Yeah, cool. Okay.
So that's those. Thousand Suns, anything there? They must have something. Kabbalistic Rituals. Yeah,
so I think this one is unit from your army. So this is where people were using the Infernal Gateway on a Fate Skimmer. And then they were using this ritual to let one of their Thousand Suns units cast a Codex Demon Psychic Power. Obviously not intended.
Yeah.
Now is in the rules as well.
I'm actually really glad to see that.
I'm glad they picked up on that and they put that in there.
Really glad to see that. It was always the intent, and it kind of is like... I mean, I even had this conversation with someone at the table. Do you think that's how that's intended, or that's how it's written? Well, I always want to play the game as it's intended to be played. Yeah. So it's great to see now that Games Workshop, just basically having to do this.
Yeah.
Just so that people play the game...
Just to make sure.
With the intent, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm really happy to see that in there, because it was kind of like, you can tell it's pushing the boundaries of what was originally intended.
Yeah, a little, yeah.
Enemy models cannot use any rules to ignore the Reaper. The Obliteractors to apply to mortal wounds inflicted. Yes, you can't ignore the mortal wounds.
From the Reaper, yeah.
Any core rulebook changes?
Ignoring wounds versus rules that prevent models ignoring wounds. Cannot lose more than a specific number. And it would be... Okay, so that's normal. Similarly, some models...
Sorry.
Hold on.
There's something about ignoring wounds. There's a massive long paragraph.
There's a massive bit about ignoring wounds. Okay. Yeah. Wound allocation. Some character units have abilities that dictate which models wounds must be allocated to first. when you receive mortal wounds, they have to be allocated to those as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's just a nice bit of clarification.
Yeah, but everything else looks like it's pretty solid, the same. Yeah. So we've done most of the FAQs now. Chaos Demons. Well, that must be all new? Or is that, I don't know how long this has been out.
I think...
This is 1.0.
1.0.
So Chaos Demons might just...
What's the date on it? Was it the 5th of January?
Good point.
No,
no,
it's October.
So we've done all the FAQs now.
We've done all the ones that have been...
Right, so look at that. That's everything covered. That's FAQs, balance update points, in a massive, massive long 2.5 hour live stream. But guys, I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to everybody that's tuned in today. We really hope you've enjoyed this and got some value from it. We've put a lot of your fears to bed. If you haven't done so before you leave, just like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out tremendously. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. Honestly, it means a huge amount to us. Every single penny that you guys give us goes straight back into keeping us here and putting out content. So thank you so, so much.
Yeah.
And we'll be back, next week with a stream game.
Yeah.
And we can use all the new balance stuff.
Yes.
So comment below what's in the description. Okay, not in the comments, should I say? In the comments, not in the chat. In the comments, what armies would you like us to use?
Cybers Bellical.
Okay, so here we go. Michael, give me a big winner from this book.
Big winner from this book. I know you're going to say this one, so I'm going to say Adeptus Mechanicus.
Adeptus Mechanicus.
Admech, big winner.
All right. I'm going to say Custodes.
Yes.
I think both of those are big, big winners. Any big losers?
Big losers. I'm trying to think of all the factions again now. Big losers. I think some of the Space Marine supplements. Bit of a loser, especially the combat orientated ones. Sorry, Blood Angels. Because you don't have, something like Codex Warfare isn't really your thing. And if your only secondary you've got is a Battlefield Supremacy, or one that is one of the good ones, then it's kind of wasted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you'd rather take one from a different place.
And a lot of the weapon options are really good for combat armies, but not necessarily... shooting armies, not combat.
Guard, big winner. Grey Knights, I think,
big winner,
overall, big winner. Yes, they've lost Armour of Contempt, but...
Yeah, someone said Sororitas. I think that...
Sisters?
I think that might be fair.
I think...
it's also a shame they're losing the Order of Martyred Lady supplement.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't even busted. The Bloody Rose one is crazy good.
Yeah, it's crazy good. So, Imperial Knights, massive winner in my eyes.
Just because it didn't change.
I think they're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Imperial Knights.
And then also, I think Tau lost some stuff.
I think they're still a winner though, aren't they?
I mean, they're still good.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need they can spend the bombers points on more crisis suits or another Riptide.
Or
they
Riptides.
don't even need troops now.
I know. So it's hard. It is really hard. I don't know if there's any massive losers. Weird Puppy said a winner off Admech versus Custodes. Mandy said, hey, does that mean I need to redo that list? I sent you Necrons were big winners too. Yeah, Mandy, please feel free to resend me that list actually. And we'll get that on stream at some point in the future. Maybe not next week, but possibly the week after. But definitely happen in the near future.
I think Thousand Sons are a bit of a loser. Armour and Contempt sort of hit them in both ways. They lost the Flamer support.
Yeah.
And they lost Magnus, Wrath of Magnus.
Yeah.
Which was a really big hit.
Yeah.
Really big hit. Genestealer Cult, I think, are big winners.
Yeah.
Because they got some points drops, but also they got really hammered by Armour of Contempt.
Yeah.
So I think that's...
Okay, cool.
I think that's good.
I think I'm looking forward to it. A new era of 40Ks. We're about to step into it as of right now. So go out, enjoy playing some new balance updates. And yeah, if you're on the academy, then we'll jump on a Zoom call tomorrow and I can answer any of your questions specifically.
Yeah.
But I really hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, like it, subscribe, and also share with your networks of gaming clubs and whatnot to help them also get up to date with the latest changes.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
thank you so much, Games Workshop, for actually doing this.
Yes.
For being bothered to
look at all three at the same time.
Yep.
For one, and to just even do balance Dataslates, points updates, and all that.
Someone said, have we tried out the new boarding actions patrol rules? We can't comment on boarding actions. But if you do come at 10 a.m. on Saturday, then we've got a Space Hulk theme battle report for you for Warhammer 40,000. So check that out. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all that being said, see you at 10 o'clock on Saturday for some Space Hulk.
Yeah, sick.
See you later.